The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning. The court orders an end to strike action, even though workers were expected back at work today in any event. The government maintaining that no major impact from the two-day sick-out event, although more strain put on hospitals and clinics. And we are talking to the president of BECAU, the Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, representing teachers in Grand Bahama, about the impact of their action. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Also this morning, acclaimed chef Simeon Hall Jr. has a new achievement to brag about, an Emmy Award. We'll talk about that with him this morning. And later in business, our monthly series with Bristol Wines and Spirits. We're going to be talking with them about dry January of all things and more. That's all ahead on a busy Wednesday. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the government secured an injunction in the Supreme Court barring unions affiliated with the Trade Union Congress from further industrial action. The order prohibits members of the Bahamas Air Traffic Controllers Union, the Bahamas Doctors Union, the Consultant Physician Staff Association, and Bahamas Nurses Union from taking part in any industrial action. The injunction orders members of these TUC affiliates to report to work when scheduled to do so, to refrain from any continued strike, and not to take sick leave without a valid doctor's note. The claimants in the matter are the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, the Minister of Health and Wellness, Minister of Labor and Public Service, the Attorney General, and the Public Hospitals Authority. Now, failure to comply with the order could lead to being found in contempt of court, imprisonment, or a fine. The injunction was granted after a second day of industrial action by TUC affiliates. The intent, as announced by TUC President Obie Ferguson, was for 2 days of action, which he termed 2 rest days, which means the action would have ended yesterday in any event. But yesterday, Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll said the industrial action had minimal impact on the operations of various government areas, but noted that public health care, air traffic, and government schools were most affected by the workers who called in sick. Glover-Roll said about 80 to 90% of doctors, 20% of nurses, and 90% of air traffic controllers did not show up to work on Monday. In a statement yesterday, the PHA, the Public Hospitals Authority, said the increase in staff callouts placed an additional strain on the healthcare system. According to Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell, 2 schools in New Providence, S.C. McPherson and C.C. Sweeting, closed at noon due to staff shortages. Public schools in Grand Bahama were severely impacted by the workers' action. and closed at 1 p.m. Monday. However, they operated for a full school day yesterday. McCartney Russell said while some administrators at Grand Bahama schools called in sick again yesterday, more teachers on that island showed up than on Monday. Meanwhile, Glover Roll said her office has not been able to make contact with Obi Ferguson, but stressed that the government's line of communication remains open. Sarkis's Merlions BML Properties Limited is asking the Supreme Court to put China Construction America Bahamas and China State Construction Engineering Corporation Bahamas into liquidation for failing to satisfy a $1.6 billion judgment. BML is asking the court to appoint Simon Townend and John K. Green Thompson of KPMG Bahamas Limited and James Neal of KPMG Ireland as official liquidators, jointly to carry out the winding up of the companies. Last October, a New York judge awarded $1.6 billion to BML Properties Limited after finding that CCA and affiliated companies committed fraud and ultimately forced BML out of its Bahama investment. A U.S. firm withdrawing its lawsuit against the government after the Davis administration met its obligation under a letter of intent to pay Burke Energy Solutions $1 million for failing to enter a solar power purchase agreement as it had committed to do so. Attorney for Burke Energy responding to a NASA Guardian inquiry saying the government fulfilled its obligation under the agreement and that they were dismissing the lawsuit. Under the LOI, which the Davis administration entered into in December 2022, the parties agreed to explore the feasibility through a solar feasibility study that would define the technical and economic feasibility for a solar photovoltaic project throughout the country. The intent was for the study to provide a preliminary scope of solar services under a PPA so that Burke and or an affiliated entity would finance, build, own, operate, and maintain the solar system on the government's property for 20 years at no capital cost to the government and with no maintenance cost or performance risk to the government, all while providing energy cost savings from the first day of operation. You can read more about this in today's Nassau Guardian. A judge reducing bail for a man who is facing a murder charge in connection with a 2022 fatal shooting. Marvin Augustin is accused of the August 6th death of Ayundo Luis at Rock Crusher Road. In December 2023, his bail was initially set at $30,000 with stringent conditions. However, Augustin remained in custody because his family lacked the means to post his bail. With no trial date imminent, Augustin's bail was reduced to $9,900. The prosecution did not object to the reduction. An American-born author accused of kidnapping her son remains in custody after the acting Minister of Foreign Affairs granted permission for her extradition hearing to proceed. The 43-year-old is wanted by the Swiss Confederation on allegations that she kidnapped her then 8-year-old son in February 2023. The child, who was placed in the care of the state following his mother's arrest in December 2024, has been reunited with his father. Deputy Director of Public Prosecutions, Euclid Bonamy, presenting an authority to proceed to Chief Magistrate Roberto Reckley during a brief hearing yesterday. The matter has been adjourned to February 12th for a fixture hearing. Overseas, millions of Southern Californians on edge as a final round of dangerous fire weather forecast for the region today, along with a rare warning of a particularly dangerous situation for an area where two massive blazes have killed at least 25 now and destroyed thousands of homes. Firefighters got a reprieve Tuesday when winds were unexpectedly light, and they were able to make progress battling the two huge Los Angeles area fires and quickly snuff out several new fires. The Eden Fire, burning just north of Los Angeles, and the Palisades Fire that destroyed much of the seaside LA neighborhood of Pacific Palisades, broke out January 7th in conditions similar to what's expected today. High winds last week pushed flames at remarkable speed and carried fire-sparking embers sometimes miles away. The National Weather Service issuing red flag warnings, done when temperatures are warm, humidity is low, and strong winds are expected. Those warnings from 3 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the Central Coast 275 miles south to the border with Mexico. The particularly dangerous situation was in effect for an area that includes parts of Los Angeles and Ventura counties. And South Korea's impeached President Yoon Suk-yeol detained in a major law enforcement operation at the presidential compound today, defiantly insisting the anti-corruption agency didn't have the authority to investigate his actions, but saying he complied to prevent violence. Yoon, the country's first sitting president to be apprehended, now faces the prospect of a lengthy prison term over potential rebellion charges. In a video message recorded shortly before he was escorted to the headquarters of the anti-corruption agency, Yoon lamented the rule of law having completely collapsed in the country. His words: Yoon has been holed up in the residence in the capital of Seoul for weeks, while vowing to fight to the end the efforts to oust him. He's justified his declaration of martial law December 3rd as a legitimate act of governance against an anti-state opposition employing its legislative majority to thwart his agenda. The Corruption Investigation Office for high-ranking officials said Yoon was brought into custody about 5 hours after investigators arrived at the presidential compound and about 3 hours after they successfully entered the residence in their second attempt to detain him over his imposition of martial law. Russia today launching a major ballistic and cruise missile attack on regions across Ukraine, targeting energy production and compelling authorities to shut down the power grid in some areas, despite freezing winter weather. The Russian Defense Ministry said it launched a strike on critically important facilities of gas and energy infrastructure that ensure the functioning of Ukraine's military-industrial complex. It didn't give the target locations or other details. The barrage coming a day after the Russian Defense Ministry vowed a response to what it said was an attack on Russian soil using multiple Western-supplied missiles. Kyiv has confirmed that attack, though it said Tuesday that it had hit an oil refinery and a fuel storage depot, a chemical plant producing ammunition and 2 anti-aircraft missile systems, in a missile and drone attack that reached about 700 miles into Russia. Long-range attacks have been a feature of the nearly 3-year war. We're on the front line, snaking about 600 miles from northeast to southern Ukraine. Armies have engaged in a war of attrition. Russia's been advancing on the battlefield over the past year, though its progress has been slow and costly. And rescuers attempting to save scores trapped in mines months after South African authorities initially cut off supplies to miners working illegally in an abandoned gold mine. Rescuers brought dozens of bodies and emaciated survivors to the surface, with hundreds more still believed to be underground, many of them dead and others too weak to come out on their own. At least 60 bodies and 92 survivors have been pulled from one of South Africa's deepest mines since Monday, and a red cage-like device lowered thousands of feet underground. Police are uncertain how many miners remain inside, but said it is likely in the hundreds. Another 9 bodies were brought out Friday in a community-led rescue effort. The mine has been the scene of a tense standoff between police, miners, and members of the local community since authorities launched an operation in November to force the miners out by cutting off food and water from the surface for a period of time. At the time, a cabinet minister said the aim was to smoke them out and the government would not send help because they were, quote, criminals. But that tactic has been fiercely criticized by civic groups in the community, and the South African government is under scrutiny for the way it's dealt with the issue. At the gold mine, where more than 100 miners are believed to have died underground of starvation or dehydration. Authorities who removed the ropes and pulley system that miners used to enter and lower supplies say the survivors are able to come out but they're refusing because of fear of arrest. In sports, the 2024-2025 Government Secondary School Sports Association basketball season, the GSSSA, continues. Exciting matchups on a daily basis at the D.W. Davis and C.I. Gibson gyms. Over at D.W. Davis on Tuesday, the C.H. Reeves Raptors junior boys took on the F. Adderley Tigers in a tightly contested game. The Raptors scoring a narrow 28-25 victory, with Devontae Kroll leading the scoring for C.H. Reeves with 18 points. After the game, Coach Thurman Johnson pleased with the performance. You can read about that in today's Guardian Sports section. On the junior girls division, at the same venue, the Raptors dominated the Tigers with a decisive 29-7 victory. Tajanique Morley, the standout player for the Raptors, scoring 20 points, leading her team to a commanding win. Over at C.I. Gibson Tuesday, the junior girls game featured the H.O. Nash Lions and Anatol Rogers Timberwolves. H.O. Nash getting a big win with a 40-13 victory. Jada Frazier, the top performer for H.O. Nash, scoring 33 points. Almost all. Okay. H.O. Nash also facing off against Anatol Rogers in the junior boys division. C.I. Gibson, at C.I. Gibson as well. H.O. Nash emerging victorious with 39-32 that win. Trayvon Burrows leading the scoring for H.O. Nash with 20 points. More on the action in today's Guardian Sports section. From tennis, the Australian Open, Naomi Osaka's second-round match at the Open could not possibly start in a worse way. All of 21 minutes in, she sailed a forehand service return well long, and just like that, trailed 5-0. Osaka strode to the sideline for a changeover, plopped herself down, and draped in a white towel over her head. Stay like that throughout the game and the break, but summoning something inside. Osaka forgot about the disappointing start and came all the way back to win 1-6, 6-1, 6-3 today. And into the third round for the first time in 3 years. And one day after Michael Thomas Lewis was charged with felony stalking of Indiana Fever star and WNBA Rookie of the Year Caitlin Clark, the 55-year-old Texas man shouted guilty as charged as soon as he sat down in a courtroom Tuesday. Lewis is accused of repeated and continued harassment of the 22-year-old Clark beginning on December 16th. Lewis behaved very erratically, according to news coverage, in his first court appearance, and at times appeared to be laughing and joking while noting he had not been taking his medication while jailed or while living out of his car. Prosecutors say they're seeking a higher-than-standard bond because Lewis traveled from his home in Texas to Indianapolis with the intent to be in close proximity to Clark. Lewis was held on a $50,000 bond, and if the bond is posted, he'll be required to wear an ankle monitor and remain in Indiana. The court filed a not guilty plea on his behalf, and the judge suggested that he remain silent in jail and only speak with his attorney. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a cold front across the central Bahamas now. That's going to drift into the southeast Bahamas by this evening. High pressure will continue to weaken ahead of the front, and a strong high pressure system is building behind the front. Sea swells combined with wind-driven waves will create hazardous sea conditions, while the high pressure slowly drifts eastwards across the area. Another robust frontal system will enter the country over the upcoming weekend. So, beachgoers and swimmers are urged to avoid getting into Atlantic waters and should exercise caution along northern and eastern shorelines as we have the increased risk of hazardous rip currents, rough surf, and higher seas in these areas. For today, we're looking at partly cloudy to cloudy conditions for the northern and northwest Bahamas. About a 10% chance of showers. Winds northeast at 15 to 20 knots, falling light and variable at times. For the Central Islands, a mix of sun and clouds as that front moves through. You've got about a 10 to 30% chance of showers. Winds northeast at 20 to 25 knots near the front, 15 to 20 knots elsewhere. And for the Southeast Bahamas, partly sunny today, about a 10% chance of showers. Winds northeast at 10 to 15 knots, increasing to 15 to 20 knots by tonight. Temperature-wise today, we're looking at highs in the mid-70s for most areas, around 75, 76 Fahrenheit, about 24 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to the low to mid-60s, about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook coming up in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of the start.
You're listening to Morning Blend. When we come back to these top stories right here on your home for fresh news and smart talk all day, Guardian Radio 96.9.
It's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
Looking to elevate your gadget game, or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows, or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas, Channel 969, and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Chester Robards will be joining us. Got a lot to talk about this morning. We're going to get the latest on the industrial action we've been seeing. Well, not supposed to be in effect today, but there has been a court order to end strike action in any event. So we'll get to all of that. But we're going to talk with we're scheduled with of BECAWU, that's the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. They represent teachers in Grand Bahama and counselors in other parts of the country as well. And I'm going to talk to the president about these past couple of days from her perspective. Later in the show, we'll be talking with Chef Simeon Hall Jr. He's won a big award. We're going to talk about that. Very exciting stuff. And later, it's Dry January. How does that impact our friends at Bristol Wines and Spirits? You may be surprised. They are going to be here with us to talk about all that and more. So it's a busy Wednesday ahead. Let's begin right now with what's in the news. And in the news, there's a lot of stories in the news. You're going to want to pick up the papers today to get a look at this, including the latest with BML and Sarkis's Merlion asking the court to put CCA Bahamas into liquidation. And interesting story there and a whole lot more. Some of the papers talking about Grand Bahama calling this fire truck situation state of emergency. And we heard quite a bit on Talking Heads with Naughty yesterday about how bad things are. Yeah, this is serious. And this is the dry season here in the Bahamas. We don't get as much rain during this time of year as we do in the summer and fall. So even for New Providence, the fire risk is high as well. So this is not the time for something like that to be going on. That's all going on. But, of course, the big story has been the industrial action of the past couple of days, the action taking a toll, especially on hospitals and clinics in the country. But the government can end all industrial action, even though the TUC president was saying that this was only intended for 2 days, so workers were expected back to work today. But just in case anybody had some ideas, the government has secured an injunction in the Supreme Court barring unions affiliated with the Trade Union Congress from further industrial action. Our Tanika Thompson writing about this today. The order prohibits members of the Bahamas Air Traffic Controllers Union, Bahamas Doctors Union, Consultant Physician Staff Association, and Bahamas Nurses Union from taking part in any industrial action. The injunction orders members of these TUC affiliates to report to work when scheduled to do so, to refrain from any continued strike, and not to take sick leave without a valid doctor's note. The claimants in the matter are the Minister of Tourism, Investments and Aviation, Minister of Health and Wellness, Minister of Labor and the Public Service, Attorney General, and the Public Hospitals Authority. Now, failure to comply with the order could lead to being found in contempt of court, imprisonment, or a fine. The injunction was granted after a second day of industrial action by TUC affiliates. The intent, as announced by Bobby Ferguson on the weekend, was for 2 days of action that he termed 2 rest days. Now, yesterday, Minister of Labor and Public Service Pia Glover-Roll said the industrial action had minimal impact on the operations of various government areas, but noted that public health care air traffic, and government schools were most affected by the workers who called in sick. She said, quote, "It's the same minimal impact as Monday, mostly because there are contingencies in place. And of course, we are adding more contingencies today." That was yesterday she said this. So the impact remains with the air traffic controllers, but they are still operational and functional, just with a minimal team. The healthcare sector is most affected with the level of doctors that are out and some nurses, but the PHA and the Ministry of Health both have contingencies in place. Of course, we want to operate our health care at its maximum, so that would be the biggest area of concern. So what is minimal? Well, Glover Roll says about 80 to 90% of doctors, 20% of nurses, and 90% of air traffic controllers did not show up to work on Monday. But Glover Roll said that teachers were in. Of course, they're not with the TUC. They're with the BUT under the Bahamas National Alliance. Based on what she's saying about Tuesday, more administrators showed up on Tuesday than Monday. Grand Bahama schools were impacted because the TUC-affiliated education unions are based in Grand Bahama. Sure. Otherwise, this is Pia Gloverol. I know there was some disruption yesterday, Monday, at the National Insurance Board, but it was also minimal because contingencies were also in place. In a statement yesterday, the PHA, the Public Hospitals Authority, said the increase in staff call-outs placed an additional strain on the healthcare system, saying, quote, "Management remains steadfast in its strategic efforts to prioritize acute and emergent care, ensuring that patients in critical need continue to receive timely and effective treatment." Now, back to the schools. According to Director of Education Dominique McCartney-Russell, 2 schools in New Providence, S.E. McPherson, and yesterday due to staff shortages. Now, she said that, quote, "While some administrators called in," and of course their union, the Educators Managerial Union, is affiliated with the TUC. "While some administrators called in, others have reported to work. While there were shortages, we utilized our contingency plan to provide added support." Public schools on Grand Bahama were severely impacted by the action on Monday and closed at 1 p.m., but they were operated for a full day yesterday, we're told. We'll confirm that in a bit. McCartney-Russell said that while some administrators in Grand Bahama called in sick again yesterday, more teachers showed up on Tuesday than on Monday. So again, the 2 days of industrial action coming after Ferguson said his members have not been able to get the respect and support necessary to resolve many of their labor issues. Glover Roll says her office has not been able to make contact with Ferguson, but stressed that the government's line of communication remains open. She also said the Prime Minister has been calling and awaits Ferguson's returned calls and a response to emails, saying, quote, "Our labor relations unit remains in place and open to communicating and returning calls." Back on Monday, Ferguson said the workers who took part in the industrial action were sending a clear message that they want to be treated properly, saying, quote, "They are entitled to be treated with respect. They earn a salary. An agreement was negotiated. The terms of the agreement have been completed, and therefore they expect to be paid and paid forthwith." And again, for just so you can remember, the TUC affiliates that Ferguson says participated in the industrial action include the Consultant Physician Staff Association, the Bahamas Doctors Union, the Bahamas Customs Immigration and Allied Workers Union, the Bahamas Air Traffic Controllers Union, the Bahamas Education Managerial Union, the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, and the Bahamas Public Officers Union. Okay, wow. So let's get your reaction to it. Expected to come to an end in any event, but the court order. Hey, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll free, 242-300-5720. You can tweet us. You can Facebook us, and you can text us 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Let's hear from you. Good morning, caller. You are on the air.
Good morning, my cousin Dwight. How are you this morning?
Doing well. Good morning.
Wonderful. Dwight, GNN maintains it's politics. Somebody ain't do something to somebody, taken back to the memorandum of understanding that should not have been signed between the union and the government. Someone gets shafted and somebody mad, and they dragging those TUC members behind again, playing politics. Dwight, it's like Mr. Mitchell years ago was told we was getting into a raid in Abaco, and Mr. Mitchell told the Abaconians 2 weeks prior to going out there, immigration coming. What you think that's doing? That's preparing, right? Okay, well, what O.B. Ferguson do playing with these payment people again? Boss, Dwight,
all right, so
I can strike.
I don't know, though. I mean, we've been hearing from these unions over the past few months that there are issues that are outstanding. This is this isn't sprung out of nowhere.
Yes,
right?
Dwight. Yes, Dwight. But what union boss can let the government know, but in 2 days we can strike. When you can strike, Dwight, that's supposed to come out of left field, you even ain't supposed to know that.
These are doctors. Hold on. These are doctors. These are nurses. These are air traffic controllers. They know they have a giant responsibility. They're not demons.
Right.
They're humans,
right.
And they're like, you all better have something worked out because we aren't coming to work. I mean, I don't think that's unreasonable.
Dwight, you talking a certified union man. 30 years, you jumped.
Maybe things have changed. Maybe things have changed. I mean, doctors, they have to go back to work there, right? So you're not like, you don't want anyone to come and say, oh, because of you, my loved one died. You don't want that on your conscience.
If you don't want a car to move because you want to make a statement, you can leave the car running with the keys in it, all the tires up and everything. No,
made a statement. It's still made the statement. It's 90%.
Make what statement?
Didn't show up.
Make what statement? That is I can liken that to the maestro or the window the other day. This copycat failure.
No.
That's what that was yesterday.
No. I mean, I don't know what you were hoping was going to happen. You wanted everything to collapse?
Shut if it is warranted, then you shut it down.
He said it wasn't a strike.
Dwight, you don't tell Dwight what you preempt.
This is the warning shot. This is the warning shot. This is not the strike. This is what we can do. They have strike certificates. This is what they can do. So they're showing people.
But you know how much negotiations I've been in? I know how the contentious stuff negotiations go. That is take a little while. But don't use your members, right? We can clearly see that's what's happening.
No,
why you think the other union umbrellas ain't going along with OB?
Because I hear what you're saying. I don't think that's how things work anymore. And I think it was effective. And I think the labor minister and the prime minister are going to be bending over backwards to get things resolved. And as people have been saying that the prime minister made commitments, but it's other people who are holding up the progress, that will be addressed before the end of the week. I bet you.
Not if it's money.
Well, I mean, if it was already agreed to. Now, the other things.
Can't get them what you don't got.
Oh, okay. Well, they could get it from some other people who seem to have plenty money. Good morning, Chester Robards.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning and pleasant day to you both.
Same to you.
I'm not against the workers, but I'm against the system of not paying person in a timely fashion. And that is what has caused the problem because, as your Chester just mentioned, the money has to be there. And in many instances, there's so much that is owed that it cannot come out of one budget cycle. I think we need to be operate differently in the future and monitor a lot of things that is going on, monitor all the red plates, the mileage, and so that we can do a lot of savings, not just the government per se, the ministers or the cabinet or the travel, but all of us involved the entire payroll of the government need to be structured so that the government can actually meet its bill. But you only contract services that you're able to pay in a timely fashion. And it's not just this government or the previous government or the future government, because the situation will continue until we get that corrected.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Continue to send your text messages and your tweets. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hi. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Hey, Dwight and Chester. I'm going to side with the workers also, right? Because, it's a sad day, in my view, when an opposition leader will contact workers to get them to support their political ambitions, right? And then they said once you get elected, you decide that you're going to union bust, right? Because if I worked for whatever it is I worked for, right, I believe I'm entitled of that, and there shouldn't be no discrepancy to why I shouldn't get what I work for, right? So, hello?
We're listening.
Wait.
Hi.
You can hear me?
We can hear you. Continue. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah. So I don't see why the workers, because as hard as things are in this country to date, right? It ain't like it was 10, 15 years. We talking about the date. It's very, very expensive to survive in this country today, and that are the ones what don't feel that in their pockets, right? But for us who do, please, Minister of Labor, please pay those workers, because we don't know how far the trickle down effect would come for for those workers, man. It ain't about politics. We tired of these governments would use us over and over, so we ain't really about the politics. We just want them to be paid. You guys have a nice day.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah. And this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Dwight, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to Chester.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chester. I think there's a question to be raised in terms of the effectiveness of the longevity of the strike, because the president and his members decided that they wanted the strike to last for a specific period of time. I would think that in their strategy, they assumed or accepted that length of time would have been the time that they wanted to be out for. I'm wondering if the government's consistent ability to ask workers back to work, if that has now become the checkmate for unions going on strike. I want to suggest that the effectiveness of the court's order can only be as effective as it needs to be if we accept that the person who the order is concerned is aware and has been served. So maybe in the future, unions and their executives and their members needs to go dark when they go on strike and be unreachable.
All right, so I think
that's my...
Go ahead, those of us who aren't in unions, we have to pay attention to the words that they say. They all speak a very specific language, and O.B. Ferguson has insisted that this isn't a strike, right? I think there's a reason he said that. I'm being told by other labor folks that the law says you have to give the government notice. So this them saying that we're going to take 2 days off might have been a legal requirement. Everything they do is intentional. And the government, as someone who's tweeting us says, I don't know what the point was for the injunction. They were going back to work today in any event, but perhaps the government wants to be seen as doing something. That's a tweet that we got. But also, I agree with that. I mean, this seems like a waste of time. You're holding up other court matters to get an injunction for this thing that was going to end anyway. Okay, but I think there's a reason why the word strike isn't used. And these court things, when there is a real strike, I don't know if that is going to work.
Right, and that I think the point I'm making is not even specifically about the last 24 hours. I'm talking about even going forward in the future when there is a particular strike that unions want to carry out, that the government seems that consideration that they asked the court to say, look into this and its impact, and we want to have the workers come back to work. And I think that unions need to have a second card, because this going on strike does have, when you go to the courts level, it does have an ineffective outcome, because the court can seem to order
But
them back to
also,
work.
can you imagine how unpopular any administration would be if you put a doctor who's on strike, or an air traffic controller on strike, or a nurse on strike in jail? I mean, because they were striking? That I don't think that's going to go well with the public.
But there's precedent. There's precedent where governments have dealt harshly with essential workers for going on strike. We all are familiar that Reagan fired all of them, air traffic controller one time ago. But the point is that the strategy has to be broader, because the very narrow strategy of going on strike is obviously not going to be enough in the future.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that's accurate. But there will be consequences. You won't get paid. You might get fined. I mean, good luck. You could say, take it out of the money that you owe me. I don't know. I don't think it's going to change much. But I'm trying to make them look bigger.
Who?
The government. I'm going to get a court order. Like, hey, I already ironed all my uniforms. Go back to work anyway. So what's the point?
But also, the injunction, can the injunction supersede what people have called their day off?
They're entitled to days off without a doctor's note.
And
this is wasting our time. Everybody's wasting our time, as usual. As usual. Yeah. But anyway, if that makes you feel better, carry on smartly. One more call before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes. Good morning to both of you. In 1981, the teachers went on strike.
Yes.
We were on strike for 3 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That was a strike.
Oh, yeah.
We were summoned back to work, too, and were told if we didn't go back and teach what would happen. But we stayed out for 3 weeks because we needed to make a statement as well.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't go into all the things that happened during that time, but the fact of the matter is, we went back after 3 weeks. Of course, we paid the penalty. We didn't get paid for 3 weeks, but we made a statement, and eventually something did happen for us.
Yeah, you got it. You got most of what you wanted.
Yes, it did happen eventually. It was hard, but if it is a strike, then we know that the public usually suffers, but that's life. The people need to be paid.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the court could do whatever they want, but
I don't know why people speak about workers as if they go into a job out of the goodness of their heart. Does anybody do that?
The workers?
Any worker. Anybody who have a job.
Yeah, some people. Sure.
And even
but
the people at the top
there
don't
are limits,
go into their
though.
job. Of course.
You can't push people too far.
But my point is their heart ain't bigger than their might need to be in this day and time, right? I don't know.
No.
I'm not saying that people don't care, especially healthcare workers, because I'm sure they do.
Mm-hmm.
But also, they need to live properly based on the work that they do.
Yeah.
And that's only fair.
Absolutely. Let's take this call. Let's see if we can squeeze this in. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Jester.
Hi.
Good morning.
You know, Mr. Swan, amidst all of this BS, right? I'm siding with the statement that Mrs. Belinda Wilson, I know it's Johnson from school, but I'm siding with her, but I'm siding with the public. I mean, with the workers. And so I love the lady that called, and so she gave a reason, but I just like the people to know that there's nothing more important than the police, doctors, and teachers. They're more important than lawyers and all of the other bureaucrats, all right? And meanwhile, amidst all this BS, people are suffering and dying, okay? So, I mean, you use the right word, wasting time, right, Dwight? And so even with the threat of sending the teachers and doctors to jail, right? And the people should go and blog the jail because they don't have enough space for them. And then for you to put a teacher or a doctor in that hell asshole, right? That wouldn't fit well with the public in any bitch event. So the injunction, I'm trying to find out what is its function. And so it's just a scare tactic, but the people need to be paid. And I agree with what you're saying, Mr. Strong, but what I'm saying is that, these are key people. Anyone who's been in the hospital for a period of time, like I've been in the hospital for over a month. I know the integral part that nurses play in people, even in their psyche. So I can't see the government even playing around with the situation with the taxpayers' money. They all about hopping all over the world, doing all kinds of things, spending the money as they see fit, probably even having foreign affairs and taking their job literally. So what I'm saying is, what I'm paying taxes for, Mr. Sean, there's no reciprocity. All I get is BS on the other end of the pipe. Give thanks.
All right, that was
a
good one.
That's a great one.
That was a good one.
I gotta write that
all
down
my
before I
many
forget.
years. How have I never heard that one before? Taking their job literally at foreign affairs.
One.
Woo. Okay, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk to the president of BECU. That's the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. They're representing the teachers who were out sick for the 2 days that impacted the schools in Grand Bahama. We'll get the very latest from Sandra Major when we get back after the break. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure. RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Got your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Reminding you that you can find your loan solution with RBC. In your traffic alert, a reminder of the work on Cowpen Road. The paving work has begun. That's taking place between 9:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. between Blue Hill Road and Vinspin Road. So during those work hours, you want to avoid the area. And if you must be there, follow the posted traffic signs. But again, that's between 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. daily. That's expected to continue through Friday. In your real-time traffic right now, Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic for you from St. Vincent Road straight through to the Independence Drive roundabout, especially near Carmichael and Soldier Road. You're going to be seeing slow-moving northbound traffic there. Carmichael backed up a bit eastbound to Blue Hill Road right now. Then Milo Butler Highway, heavy traffic from Fire Trail, well south of Fire Trail, straight up to Tawny Coombs Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. And Eastern Road, you are basically parked if you're westbound from east of Dodge Road straight up to Johnson Road. And your alternate routes are busy as well. Bernard Road and Prince Charles Drive are the major intersections like Beatrice Avenue and Soldier Road heading into Robinson Road, slow-moving westbound traffic. You're also going to be seeing slow-moving Issues on Marathon Road northbound, Wolf Road west of Soldier and Village Road in both directions, east and westbound. And the Glass Road is busy as well, north of Fire Trail straight up to JFK Drive. That's what we're seeing so far. We'll have another update for you after the 8 o'clock news. Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. And time for another check of your weather for today. We've got a cold front that's now across the central Bahamas. That's going to drift into the southeast Bahamas by this evening. High pressure will continue to weaken ahead of the front while a strong high pressure system is building behind the front. Sea swells combined with wind-driven waves will create hazardous sea conditions while the high pressure slowly drifts eastwards across the area. Another robust frontal system will enter the area over the upcoming weekend. In the meantime, beachgoers and swimmers are urged to avoid entering Atlantic waters and should exercise caution along northern and eastern shorelines. For today, for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy conditions. A mix of sun and clouds in the central Bahamas as that front moves through, and partly sunny in the southeast Bahamas. Temperatures today, highs near 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Thursday, tomorrow, a mix of sun and clouds, about a 10% chance of a few spotty showers. Friday, partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night. And Saturday, a mix of sun and clouds and a gradual warming for the weekend before some cooler temperatures arrive again for the start of your work week next week. That's your Morning Blend weather check. We'll be back with more Morning Blend after these messages here on Guardian Radio 96.9.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
It's time to upgrade the way you enjoy at-home entertainment. Alive Fiber is here. Enjoy all your favorite channels and streaming apps, all at lightning-fast internet speeds with affordable bundles, and it's only a click away. Visit www.alivefiber.com to sign up now. Stay connected, live your life. It's good to be alive.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, but the Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow behemoth businesses in the tourism industry. You hear what they say, boy? Oh, yeah, develop and grow. You don't know what all the things saying do? What does do? Check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our #1 industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
Are you craving that fresh, famous food, but don't want to break the bank? Wendy's has got you covered. You can now enjoy the $5 Dave's deal at all participating Wendy's locations. Enjoy a Dave's single oxide sandwich made with fresh ingredients for just $5. So don't compromise on flavor just because you're on a budget. Wendy's always offers fresh, famous food at a great price. Certain conditions apply.
My life is a big thing, all over a big thing. The Bahamas is a big thing.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Straw along with Chester Robards. All right, so as promised, we are going to be speaking now with Beckawu President Sandra Major. That's the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. Sandra Major, good morning. Great to have you with us.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
All right, so remind people, we spoke to you a few years back when the union formed, but remind folks what Beckawu is all about.
We are the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. And we have members on all the islands of the Bahamas. Our secretariat is on the island of Grand Bahama. And presently, we have a body of approximately 800 teachers, guidance counselors, teachers' aides. And we are a part of the TUC. We are an affiliate of the TUC.
And I don't want to oversimplify what this is, but you all are basically, you mainly broke away from the Bahamas Union of Teachers. Is that fair to say?
Yes. Well, all of starting when we started with our 25 members, all of us were members of BUTs. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Again, you're under the TUC, the umbrella union
Yeah,
there.
it's an umbrella of the TUC.
All right, so is that the only reason that you took part in the industrial action over the past couple of days, or do you have specific issues that you need addressed as well?
As a affiliate of the TUC and for teachers, now, there was no strike that I'm aware of. And for teachers, they needed some mental health days, and they have the right to those days, and teachers took those, I guess, because they saw. Now, teachers have some issues, a few teachers, and people may say maybe, but it's just a few. But when you're hurting and it's you, no one feels it the way that you do. We've been going to meetings with the TUC at the Labor Minister's office. We've had a few meetings with the Prime Minister as well. I've had meetings with the Director and the Minister of Education and to address our matters. But it becomes frustrating when you take the same matter continually. When you have teachers who've been waiting for 13 years, from 2013 to be confirmed to get their reclassification, because it just isn't happening. When you have teachers who from 2019 waiting to be confirmed, 2020, 2021, they're waiting to be confirmed. Some teachers were waiting wanted to get a bank loan, but because they didn't have a confirmation letter at the time. So
what does that mean exactly? They're what? They're considered part-time, contractual?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. What it is, you're still on probation.
Okay.
Probation period is supposed to last for a year. At the conclusion so they send you out. They send you out in August, and when the year is up, you're supposed to now have a confirmation letter, and it says now you're permanent and pensionable. You can now take this letter and you can get a loan because now this is what's in your possession. But teachers become very frustrated when you're calling every month. Mrs. Major, when did the confirmation letter come? I need the confirmation letter. And you can't blame them because it is what you're entitled to. It is to know that at the end of the day, when I retire, my money is there. From the time. Because if you don't have a confirmation letter and you go to the Ministry of Education, oh no, you're not been confirmed by the public service. So if you're not confirmed, what are you entitled to? So that's all teachers are saying. And when they constantly ask you, I'm saddened by it because we're going to have a new portal to put things in. But even when people keep telling you it's going to be done, it's going to be done, it's going to be done. And every month teachers call it, it's enough. Whatever it takes to move it, we understand the frustration. We understand. We're not unrealistic. We're not unsympathetic toward public service because there's a lot of people. But what we're saying is there has to be a better system. They're trying to put one in the Oracle system now. You can go into a portal. But people that are waiting, the new people that are coming in now, last year, they got more people giving them the confirmation letters within maybe 6 months after they got it. But the people behind them are still waiting. So we're saying, no, that cannot be right. Mm-hmm. When people are waiting for their allowances, when you work, you work and you do the after school activities. It's a certain amount. It's not a lot of money. That after school allowance, you get $1,500 for doing the thing. But if you're calling me at the end of it and say, Mrs. Midge, I didn't get the money. When will I get the money? Are we getting the money? No, that's not right. When you send our young teachers out to the family islands and they're paying, they're having rental assistance, they're within what's allowed to be received, and every month the teacher's paying out of their pocket $200 to $500. You send them on a family island, like that's not right.
Can you say how many teachers are impacted by this? What are the numbers we're talking about here?
On going to the family, for the family islands, so teachers will go approximately right now for the teachers who are not receiving their full rental assistance, maybe about 20 persons like that. But people will say, oh, that number is small, but you must realize that the money may be small to you. But when the money comes out of your pocket and you're sending me to an island, you are sending me as the employer. You're sending, so then I should be made whole. I shouldn't be, if I can stay home with my family and that burden isn't on me, then I will do so. But if you send me, no, yesterday again, I got some more teachers who were saying, I need my confirmation letter, please. So they received some last year. Some teachers did receive them. When we had a meeting and those persons, maybe about 5 more persons got theirs. People are still waiting.
Why would they call you for that?
No, they call because I take the matters to the ministry. Right. So everyone sends it in. And so every month we ask, what are your issues? And so what are your concerns? And so they will list their concerns for me when I meet with the director or anyone. Then we present those concerns, or we send them in by email and let them deal with it.
So is it an efficiency problem at the ministry? Is it just a lack of care? I don't understand. Like it's just a letter, right?
Yeah, right. It's just a letter. That's our point. See, I don't know. Maybe it's the finances in this country. Because in speaking to the accounts department, they're very, very accommodating, and when I call, I must say that about them because they are very accommodating. If I have a question, I'd say, "What was this person paid? Did they receive the money?" Accounts department will say, "Well, no, they did. They can tell me when the person is paid." Accounts cannot pay the money unless it was sent to be paid. So, but if my thing with that is that therefore it must then be at the Prime Minister's level. Because if it isn't paid, accounts can tell me what is paid. And if it wasn't paid, that's when teachers are frustrated because they're calling, I just need my money. And like everybody else in this country, they need their money.
And again, you said that was with the housing allowance, but what were the numbers like for those who have not received confirmation letters?
I just left my paper. Confirmation letters, on the last check I had, now, I have one person at 2013. She was waiting for, she was waiting for, reclassification. That's when you change the teacher's aid, and she did a degree, and now she wants to become a teacher. She did that from 2013. I have 2 persons for confirmation that came from private sector to the government, and they were waiting 2019. I have about another, the person's coming out 2020 to now, to about 25. I want to make sure my numbers are correct. No, I want to make sure, because I have to look at my paper.
All right, so some will, a handful, 20 people or so. All right, so I know you say, yes, it's important to you and you need to have this certainty, but a lot of people are going to say, was this justifiable to shut down the schools on an entire island because of that? What do you say?
We did not shut the schools down because of that. We didn't shut the school down. Our concern is that all of our teachers, wherever we are, must know that the Bahamas government, the union, is working on their behalf. See, to one person, it's not important because it's not you. And so if we don't stand up for what is right for one person, then we say, oh, you're not important because it's just one of you. No. But it's one of me asking from 2013. My matter is not important because it's just me. No. I am just as important as the Prime Minister, as the Minister of Labor, as the Minister of Education, as the Director, as the Union President. I am just as important. And so we stand together because in standing together, you are stronger. We did not take a strike. We did not take a strike. All teachers did was say, I mentally, I can't manage this. Knows it, feels it.
All right.
So until you have walked a mile in my shoe, when I'm on a family island and I have to pay $450 out of my pocket, and you say, and you call me every month, Mrs. Major, or you call Mrs. LaRoda, who is responsible for that part in our union, you say to her, Mrs. LaRoda, should I pay my light this month or should I pay the rent? It's not important to you because you have your light on.
All right,
and so we are the voice for the people. We stand as the voice for our members. And no one took a strike. All we did, all the teachers said, I need a mental health day, and this is what I need to do. No parent, no other person is going to come and say, here's your money, you please go and pay your light. Nobody's going to do that. Nobody's going to go and say, let's go to the bank with you, and we will secure a loan for you.
All right, we're talking with Sandra Major, the president of BECU, that's the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union, representing teachers in Grand Bahama and other educators throughout the country. All right, so we're hearing from the Ministry of Education and the Ministry of Labor about the impacts over the past 2 days. But from your perspective, what happened yesterday? We heard that many of the teachers did return yesterday. Is that correct?
Not many, a few did.
A few
did. More than would have been there on Monday. But
so they were feeling better. Their mental health was.
A few of those, I guess, their mental health improved on Tuesday. So because that improved, they would have gone in. But the schools in Grand Bahama was still greatly affected. Yeah, I remember we are teachers. We know our children are important. But we almost remember that teachers are important as well. Because people forget that when you send your children, we have a class of 25 to 30 children coming from all different homes. No one considers our mental health. No one considers what we go through every day when parents can survive with their one or two. We have to take all the different issues and put them together and deal with all of that. And so no one considers that. They just say, oh, y'all just go to school. No. Teachers are important. Their mental health is important. And what affects one affects all. And so we have to stand and say, no, it's not right. So when I go to school, it must be a safe place for me, and I must be comfortable when I get there.
Do you think there will be any fallout from the past 2 days? Will it be hard to catch up, or what impact do you think is going to have in the short to long term?
We will make the necessary adjustments as we have to, like when we've done everything else. They asked a lot of teachers, and whenever it's needed, we do what is necessary as teachers. That's what we do. We make the adjustment where it's necessary, and if parents partner with us as well, the effect would be even greater. That we work together more. As we need a partnership with the parents. Partner with us to make sure your children do what is necessary. Don't let the burden just be on teachers. Don't just send them. Be a partner with us, and you will see even a greater improvement in this country. We are for the Ministry of Education and all of that. They're putting a new thing in place, and we're grateful for the new thing, that the new portal and everything that will be coming. So we're willing to work with them. That's our thing with BECU. We're willing to work with the Ministry of Education.
All right, we are running out of time. I just want to ask you really quickly, there's been a court order. But I suspect the teachers were going to be feeling well today in any event, well enough to go to work. But what do you make of the court order that ends any action at all?
No, there was no industrial action. There was no strike. Teachers did not feel well. Nurses did not feel well. Custom officers didn't feel well. Or mentally, they were just not there. And so mentally, that day, they just said, well, I'm going to call because I am not doing well. And if you're not doing well, you don't go. They say if you're not doing well, you don't come to work. When I'm doing well, I will come back. And that's all they did. They did not feel well. And that's it.
But today is a better day.
Well, we will see.
We will see. Okay.
Yes, we will see if it's a better day today. If people call and say, well, they're better today, we'll find out, I guess, by 9 o'clock.
All right. Sandra Major, I'm sure there's a lot more we could talk to you about. Hopefully we'll talk again soon. Thank you very much for speaking with us this morning and bringing some clarity to what's been happening up there in Grand Bahama and with the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay. We're going to be back after the news, folks. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
The Bahamas is big thing. So now big thing crew is just a few who just do they do and move right through. So if you are a part of what I just say, then open up your mouth and help represent me. The Bahamas is big thing. My island is big thing. All over is big thing. The Bahamas is big thing. Nassau is big thing. Eleuthera is big thing. Freeport is big thing. Upper is big thing. This life is great.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news.
To the world. The Bahamas is big thing. My island is big thing. All over is big thing. The Bahamas is big thing. The Bahamas is big thing. My island is big thing. All over is big thing. The Bahamas is big thing. Now many other countries they be lucky like us, with the sun the shine from dawn till dusk. From Freeport to Inapa, we can travel hassle free. We may never leave on time, but we can check in early. Bahamas is big thing. My island is big thing. All over is big thing. The Bahamas is big thing. Bahamas is big thing. My island is big thing. The flag carrier big thing. The Bahamas is crew. It's just a few who just do.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. Coming up in a few minutes, we're going to be talking with Chef Simeon Hall Jr. He's an Emmy winner now. Yeah, we're going to talk with him in just a bit about this great achievement. I'm very jealous.
EMMY.
Always wanted an Emmy. One day, Simeon, you'll have company. One day. Trust me. Yeah? Okay. And then later.
Okay, Dwight.
It's January, dry January, but we're talking with Bristol Wines and Spirits. How will this work? They're gonna.
You mean the forest dry? What dry?
They're fires. Don't make jokes about that.
I'm just saying.
Dry January, but hey, Bristol has something to say about it.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about that in business. So that's all ahead. But we continue talking about what's in the news, folks. You just heard our interview with Sandra Major, the president of the Bahamas Educators, Counselors, and Allied Workers Union. That's the union representing some of the teachers in the country, not all. Not with the BUT. They broke away from the BUT a few years back and representing, I think she said, about 800 educators throughout the country. And almost all the teachers in the public school system in Grand Bahama.
Right.
And schools were closed on Monday. As she said, some went back to work yesterday. All are expected to be better now from the mental health strains they were having earlier in the week.
But we won't know until about 9 o'clock.
We'll see, but that is what's expected.
But you asked about the injunction.
Right.
But their union wasn't actually named in the injunction.
No, it's interesting. It was the doctors, nurses, and air traffic controllers. So, I mean, what does that mean? The government doesn't care if the teachers don't go back?
Maybe that's...
Is that what that means? Well.
Also, the government saying there's no major impact on it because they had their contingency plans in place. Is that what it was?
Or is it... Maybe we are not on the same page when it comes to what the word minimal means. Right? Because if you hear 90% of air traffic controllers and 90% of doctors...
I'm talking about them. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about not those workers. The major... So I'm talking about the other workers.
Mm-hmm.
Who like in government agencies that you have to deal with every day for your business.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
The public service?
Those, yeah.
Yeah.
People, everything was fine.
Well, they are not a part of the TUC.
Oh, they're not a part of the TUC.
No, they're with the Bahamas National Alliance.
Oh, right.
With Belinda Wilson.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So, but she did say TikTok.
TikTok, right.
We got issues too.
Y'all on the clock.
Right.
Yeah.
So, right.
Right.
But we know that whether it was minimal or not, according to the government spin, the hospital was put under strain, and they keep saying that.
Yeah.
Right. This was not what they would have wanted at all. and it was difficult for them to put those contingencies in place. All right. So, again, pick up today's Ask the Guardian. There's a whole lot in there today. It's interesting stuff about CCA and BML and Sarkis Merlion. But also this story, government pays $1 million after U.S. firm claims breach of contract. Very interesting story, as the government had to pay Burke Energy Solutions $1 million it had committed to. Yeah. Interesting stuff. That's $1 million that could have gone to some people who might have taken 2 days off because they haven't been paid. But, oh, boy. Interesting. Anyway, let's get your reaction to what we've been talking about this morning. Maybe you have something to say about the interview with Sandra Major just now with Becca Wu and what we're expecting today with folks back to work after 2 days of what the unions are insisting you do not call a strike, just rest.
Say striking the paper?
Well, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259, toll free 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us 422-4796. All right, so some text messages here. This is a text. No good administration got an injunction against the unions after they reneged on the MOU they signed. Play with puppy, they lick your mouth. Political union bosses signed this MOU with the PLP for political convenience. Now members are feeling the pinch. He says the retired lower ranks of the police force were pleading for years for their gratuity, gratuity that they are entitled to, but the government has refused to pay. Boy. This texter says here, this 2-day layoff period exhausted. This was a 2-day layoff period exhausted with no action. Now the TUC president has to apply again for the Labor Department for another strike.
No,
I don't think so.
You got that wrong.
That's why he's saying it's not a strike. They were just out sick. So I don't think you're right. Has anyone verified how much this government is spending to teach these ambulance drivers, or do we not care? Money is just pouring out, and we get distracted looking at the leak rather than who's making all these holes. Again, I say the Ministry of Health ain't no rookie here, and so where's the clear explanation of the cost of these toys and the training to drive them? By the way, anyone here from the chairman of the PHA or can explain their role in the organization regarding spending decisions? Well,
how do you get on ambulance and they're driving?
I mean, it would be good. I would like to know. Do you know how to drive a stick properly? I've always messed it up. I mean, if they're training them. Anyway, is it that big a deal? Is it that
what does
big
that
a
have to
problem?
do with driving?
I don't know.
Manual.
People are very worked up about this.
Wait a second, I'm confused. So
the ambulances
new ambulance
they bought,
manual?
Yeah, stick shift.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And narrow.
They need a driver?
And they say that some of the
are
healthy Bahamians are unable to get into the ambulances when they are.
They need a driver? I could drive manual.
You've work to do, sir. This text says, it's a shame how governments treat their people. 20 people, one person tell me they can't do better. What's happening? What? Yes, they can. Yes, they can. It all boils down to the word care.
Talking about the 20 people that she was talking about?
Maybe. Please reiterate that the guest is a representative of Becca Wu, not the BUT. The BUT has thousands of members, and we have similar or even more concerns. However, yes, the government needs to address the concerns of their workers. I think it was clear.
I think we said Becca Wu several times.
The confirmation and promotion backlogs are due to the issue of the Public Service Commission only meeting once a week. All kinds of backlogs, and the commission just takes this jolly old time reviewing the files of public servants, plus employees.
Why does the Public Service Commission need to review a bunch of files when the ministries are hiring the people? Is that how it works?
That's how y'all like him. Plus, employees' files are lost. Only God knows how and where. The minister and the prime minister need to rectify these legacy issues, and the commission needs to meet more often.
Well, that's why they move into this Oracle system, right? That's supposed to cure everything, right? Hopefully.
Wow. Dwight, something bigger is coming with the unions. Trust me.
Like a bigger union?
Yeah. More. They're going to get much sicker.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Why can't police and defense officers take mental health days?
Because y'all's...
They're essential workers. Plus, they can, but not all en masse, right? You don't want that.
I mean, you could.
And I'm sure they do. Why reduce VAT in the grocery store 5% when you know all these obligations remain outstanding? So you're complaining about, okay, anyway, I don't understand. Government revenue obviously remains challenged. Governments need to start having consistent, understandable, and honest dialogue about the state of the country's finances. They also need to behave in a manner consistent with the financial realities.
You know, I looked at my grocery bill and I calculated what my VAT savings is going to be after April, and it was still depressing.
Well, what were you? No,
it's really you know, it's not the VAT. It's just the cost of food.
Yeah,
it's not the VAT.
Yeah,
the VAT's not the problem.
Let's take this call really quickly before we have to take a break. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi. Good morning.
Jessica.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bahamas. It's always unfortunate when unions have to resort to taking sick days in order to get some attention drawn to their matters. I don't know if we are not changing our style of negotiation and still allowing employers, and I guess in this case the government, to kind of, for an old-fashioned term, pull wool over your eyes. Like you said, it was not a strike. It's a 2-day call-in, entitled to 2 days without a sick slip. But the only bad thing about it, the union president, though, should not announce that they can take 2 sick days, because it looks as though it's not legit. You know, if you make your plans, you do it in such a way that your members do what they have to do, and the employer feels the effect of industrial action. I don't think I was any more strikes in this country, right?
Why is that?
Took it down in, 19 to 21 days to get a matter resolved. What strikes is when you show up to work and refuse to work, and you come outside and you demonstrate against the employer, not calling it sick. Like, no strike. Like you said, it's only 2 sick days.
Yeah.
There's 2 problems I think we are faced with as relates to unions. They must now, when they negotiate and agree to something, of course there will be a target date set, not a promise. If I say to you, listen, my people needs this, need that, need the other, and the employer agrees to that, let us say within 90 days this is going to happen. And then you let the general public know, so you can have sympathy or empathy from the general public when you have to take industrial actions against the employer. Okay, the government's agreed that they will pay us this in 90 days. It's now been 110 days. We didn't get paid yet. And so now we're about to do something. As relates to these strike certificates, and I had tried to make this adjustment when I was director of labor. It was unfair to the employer. Now, all my training is in the trade union, so I don't ever hit the trade union move what they do. But it's unfair to the employer when we get these so-called issue a strike certificate to a union, and there's no expiration date on the strike certificate. I tried to cause there to be some adjustment in the law when I was director of labor. Made a recommendation that we should put an expiration date on a strike certificate. Right. Some of these unions have strike certificates for more than a year to them against the employer, which I think is unfair to the general public. That's why I don't like. I don't like when the general public is drawn into these things and there's, some level of discomfort, especially when it comes to the medical care in this country.
Why does it make a difference?
But when you also say this, I hear a teacher called the president of the teacher union call. Listen, man, I told my members point blank when I was president of the union, do not accept a transfer unless your apartment is paid for, the money that you're supposed to be given to transfer to cost your vehicle and stuff like that to be sent to the island which you're going to. I don't know why teachers are supposed to be educators. They're supposed to be some of the smartest professionals we got in the country. Why are you allowing the employer to abuse you and use you? Do not go. They cannot fire you if you refuse to go to an island you're sent to and they have the necessary accommodation in place. You got to be crazy to allow an employer to do that to you. And I say to all citizens, stop allowing yourself to being abused.
Do they still have to pay you?
The problem is,
if you don't go?
They play politics. They don't want to do nothing to disrupt services or, of course, their government. They look bad. And they're being taken advantage of. They're being exploited. You have to have common sense, man. Why you going to send me from my comfort zone to a place I ain't get no apartment set up yet? I ain't get money to send my transportation, all them things. And what kind of craziness is this? Yeah. So I think unions need to be more impactful when it comes to their negotiation, and they have to be responsible for certain things. And you're supposed to, you can't put the cart before the horse. Make sure these things are in place before you move. And when you put these things in your industrial agreement, you have to make sure all about these confirmation letters. When I was president of the union, I caused the government to put in there an industrial agreement. Any employee who has been on probation for more than 12 months and has not received a letter indicating an extension of that probation as a month of 18, has automatically been deemed to be confined. And I don't know why HR managers are so spiteful in the public service.
Wow.
The only thing the letter is saying is you start to wait for at a particular time and what your salary is. That's all that letter is. Why they be so difficult in giving people these little letters and all this and modern technology we got? You go into the system, pull up John Bennett started working for the government in 2024. His salary is $30,000 a year. Bam.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
so these simple
quite
things,
puzzling.
man, but I don't know what is going on in the public service.
Frustrating.
Why so what these other payments, man?
Yeah, it's terrible. John Pender, thank you so much for calling in. We got
And they can get even more spiteful since you call them spiteful.
Oh, boy. This is rough stuff, and it's been going on for far too long, eh? We got to go to a break, folks. When we come back, Chef Simeon Hall Jr., this morning blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Please, please, don't prove I'm right. Please, 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 don't bring me to tears when I just did my makeup so nice. Heartbreak is one thing, my ego's another. I beg you, don't embarrass me.
I've been up at Pender and I meet him in his showroom. I said, Pender, I just come out of a showroom in Portugal and let me tell you something. Them showroom and selection ain't got nothing on yours. Man, I like this stock of porcelain and ceramic tile you got here. What I really like is the range of sizes that come in. 8 by 48, 12 by 24, 24 by 24. And what I really, really like more than the things I really like is the price. From $275 a square foot to $494 a square foot and all in between. You can't beat that. Not even with a 2x4 from Enterprises.
On Saturday, February 22nd, 2025 at 7 p.m., the Bahama Convention Center will set the stage for an unforgettable celebration of 25 years of giving back and supporting healthcare education in the Bahamas. Experience a night of excitement with exquisite fine dining, captivating live entertainment, and an inspiring atmosphere as we come together to celebrate and shape a brighter, healthier future. Tickets are available now. Reserve your spot today by emailing dhfoundation@doctorshosp.com or calling 242-302-4640. Sponsorship opportunities are also available to show your support for this important cause. The Doctors Hospital Maya Rassin Foundation. 25 years of transforming healthcare and building a legacy. Don't miss this special celebration.
What? You don't know what TDC is? Tourism Development Corporation? You mean the Ministry of Tourism? No, that ain't the same thing, buddy. The Tourism Development Corporation helps to develop and grow Bahamian businesses. And what they say, buddy? Oh, yeah. Develop and grow. You don't know what all the things they do? What does it do? Check the website, boy.
Start your journey to ownership of our number one industry today. Log on to tdcbahamas.com.
For fast, reliable, and impactful printing services, look no further. Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life. We stand by our quality products that is second to none. Our affordable pricing and friendly, efficient staff makes Printmasters the ultimate choice for all your printing needs. We any type of printing services, from banners to booklets to business cards. You name it, we can print it.
Let Printmasters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Are you ready to elevate your day with a burst of flavor? Look no further than Dunkin', your ultimate destination for everything delicious. From our freshly brewed coffee that is sure to pick you up, to our signature frozen beverages that will cool you down. And don't forget our mouth-watering sandwiches, made to order all day. Dunkin' has it all. And of course, our lineup of fresh donuts, muffins, and more. Dive into a world of yummy flavors at Dunkin' and bring joy to your day. The Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Are you seeking exceptional health care beyond the traditional hospital setting? Introducing Doctors Hospital Clinics, your trusted destination for comprehensive care. Our full-service locations provide affordable services through our Loyalty Advantage membership program and NHI. Experience seamless care with our integrated health system, where your medical history travels with you, ensuring treatment today at clinics.doctorshosp.com. We make primary care easy.
Got your final look at weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. You've got a cold front across the central Bahamas. That's going to drift into the southeastern islands by this evening. High pressure continues to weaken ahead of the front, while a strong high-pressure system is building behind the front. And sea swells will combine with wind-driven waves and create hazardous sea conditions, while the high pressure slowly drifts eastwards across the area. Another robust frontal system will enter the area over the upcoming weekend. Beachgoers and swimmers should avoid entering waters of Atlantic beaches. Exercise caution along northern and eastern shorelines. For today, for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy, partly sunny for the southeast Bahamas, but for the central islands, a mix of sun and clouds as that front moves through. Look for highs near 75 Fahrenheit, 24 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. For the next few days, Thursday, look for a mix of sun and clouds. Partly sunny during the day, becoming fair at night for Friday. A mix of sun and clouds again on Saturday and Sunday, as it gradually becomes cloudy to overcast in the northern and northwest Bahamas as that other system moves through. Partly cloudy to cloudy conditions across the northwest Bahamas for Monday. Partly sunny across the central and southeast Bahamas. Another blast of cooler temperatures for the start of your work week next week after warming up a bit for the weekend. That's your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store today. And your final look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. A reminder of the work going on at Cowpen Road. You might want to avoid the area once work gets underway, beginning at 9:30 to about 2:30 p.m. That started yesterday will continue through at least Friday. This is between Blue Hill Road and Vinspin Road. You are asked to avoid the area if you can or follow the posted traffic signs. Again, 9:30 to 2:30 daily. In your real-time traffic, we had early reports of an accident on Prince Charles and Fox Hill Road. That was causing some issues. Hopefully that's been traffic at Fox Hill northbound, heading toward the intersection with Prince Charles Drive. And once you get further westbound, you're going to see a lot of traffic in front of you as you get closer to Beatrice Avenue and straight through to Soldier Road and Robinson Road, all the way up to Marathon East-West Highway. Not a pretty place to be, Prince Charles Drive, at this hour. Your alternate routes are pretty bad as well. Eastern Road still busy for you. Slow-moving westbound traffic from San Souci to Johnson Road, Bernard Road. Near the school, some slow-moving traffic. And then we've got Blue Hill Road, heavy traffic from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive, especially near Carmichael. Carmichael's backed up eastbound to Blue Hill. And Tawny Williams-Darling Highway and Milo Butler Highway. You're going to be seeing lots of traffic in that vicinity. Still heavy northbound traffic on Milo Butler Highway all the way up to the roundabout there, and then picking up as you get closer to the six-legged roundabout. Traffic backed up on the JFK side, eastbound to the six-legged roundabout at this hour. Saunders Beach also looking busy for you eastbound as you approach New Providence Highway on West Bay Street. That's real-time traffic and your Morning Blend Traffic Alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
RBC. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help big decision to every new adventure. RBC. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Oh, we heading in deep space. Taking Rick and Spray. Oh, girl, throw that boom, see young girl, wind your waist. Get ready for the countdown. We heading in deep space. See, I am Captain Kirk. Come aboard my rocket ship.
We are back with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards. And changing gears now, this is very exciting. Chef Simeon Hall Jr., no stranger to the show, no stranger to Guardian Radio, but some very exciting developments. He is here with the award and his Emmy Award for being part of Caribbean Cookout. Congratulations, sir.
Yes.
This is amazing. Good stuff.
Thank you so much. And
Are you the first Bahamian to win an Emmy?
No, actually, Chris too.
Okay.
And so Sydney was nominated 2 or 3 times.
Yeah,
and he didn't win, but he was nominated.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm the only living Bahamian resident in the Bahamas.
Wow.
Such a
amazing stuff.
Yes.
Amazing
Yep,
stuff.
yep, yep.
All right, so this is for the show Caribbean Cookout. Tell people about Caribbean Cookout. This is on Island TV.
Yes, Caribbean Cookout Show is a show dedicated to storytelling with food and fellowship, getting chefs from around the Caribbean to talk about their stories and how each country is specific in the way that it shares food and fellowships around food, at the same time talking about the singular connections of the Caribbean itself. And so I participated in the first season as a chef and storyteller. And then I was asked to do the behind the scenes. I did all of the talent coordination.
Wow.
I was the casting director and assistant food director.
Okay.
So, at the time the show was much smaller, so we had to wear many hats. We're now in conversation for the 3rd season, but thankfully, when you win such a prestigious award, you get some things coming down.
Right.
So hopefully,
a lot of negotiating power now.
Yeah. So, things are looking really, really good. We're looking to extend the season. We're looking to create more opportunities for chefs around the Caribbean, whether they're still in the Caribbean or a part of the diaspora. So we're doing pretty good.
Yeah.
Are there options to even sell the show into some other platforms?
Yeah, well, these you could sell it to anybody. So the conversation about expanding where we are able to show it, and those opportunities are there, as well as having spin-off shows, conversation about shows specifically for the Bahamas or specifically for Trinidad or Turks and Caicos. All of those conversations are now on the table. And it's good because the Caribbean needs the exposure.
Right.
A lot of people know the Caribbean. A lot of people talk about the Caribbean. But the Caribbean isn't talking enough about the Caribbean.
I wanted to ask you about that because the food, of course, in this region is amazing, but it is not globally recognized, perhaps.
Yeah.
But definitely, you can see from some of the episodes that you're trying to change that. Let's talk about that. How hard is it to get people to recognize that we have a unique offering in this region?
Well, every year I put something on paper in a way that I address my team, and I work for that year. And this year, it's called Cultural Equilibrium. And what does that mean? That means getting people to appreciate and put that aspect the section of culture which is food in the category that it deserves. And so even here in the Bahamas, that's a great topic for us to talk about, to have cultural equilibrium, to have food in the center of where it needs to be. So that's what we're really, really pushing this year. And we hope Bahamas, but the entire Caribbean.
We talked about this before when you've been on the show, but have we understood or begun to understood what our food is?
In pockets, it's getting a little bit better. People are pushing it. But again, one of the things that we do so well in the Bahamas is we operate in silos. You doing something great, I doing something great, that one doing something great, and never the two shall meet. What my job has been over the last 15 years is to bridge that gap, to be the voice. And, in 2025, my biggest thing is to have more me's come to the forefront. I know some chefs in the Bahamas that are absolutely amazing. They will probably cook me under the ground. But they ain't talking about it.
Right.
We got to talk about it. We got to put it out there. We got to be mentioned. The Bahamas is not on one single food-related list for a destination in the whole Caribbean.
Oh, my goodness.
We rank unranked.
But there are countries in the region.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
100%. And you can't tell me our food ain't better than a lot of the Caribbean countries that you often see represented. And it's not because their food is better, it's because they talk more. And they out there and they're talking about it and people have pride in it. And it is something that, it's not just sunshine and sea for them, it's food. A lot of countries in their advertisement, food takes a high priority. And we're just now turning that leaf, and hopefully we could get more of that.
I mean, I want to ask, I'm going to step on toes here, but is it because when we do talk about food, it is an international chef or it is some foreign chain brand that is at the forefront of that discussion?
Well, again, sometimes, but again, I've seen a shift. I've been a part of conversations where more locals, and I can tell you, when you talk about the best food in the Bahamas, and you as a local, I don't care what you like out there, but a backyard cookout probably had the best food you ever had, right? So it's not that it's not happening. Exactly. Yeah. Nobody is talking about it. Gourmet's recipes were never recorded. We don't have any cooking shows that are speaking to these absolute amazing experiences, etc. So I'm championing now that our cultural equilibrium is that culture is divided into three main parts: food, music, and the arts. Right? You can identify a culture by that. Junkanoo is global. Everybody knows about Junkanoo. 110%. Bahamian artistry and our development and the look and feel of the Bahamas, the sunshine and sea. We've been talking about that from Jesus visited here on the seventh day. But food, we gotta Google it. And when they Google it, the conch fritter got lemon pepper in it and all kind of things on it that is absolutely wrong. And we don't talk about it enough, and we're not putting it on paper. We're not putting it in the media. And so that's what I'm championing that we do now.
Do you find or feel exposed us a little bit more?
Oh, for sure. I mean, when I did the episode, we got a lot of traction. There's a lot of opportunity there. There's a lot of chance for sponsorship. There's a lot of chance for future development. The conversations that I had in the first season and now with the win, I mean, they are epic. And so these opportunities are not just for me, they're for the entire Bahamas. So I won the award, but the Bahamas won the award. Anybody who knows me knows that when it comes to talking about the Bahamas, eating the Bahamas is my thing. And, I'm not shy to talk about it and share that. So this award brings light and great opportunity for the food culture in the Bahamas. Now, if you ask me, again, I've been saying this maybe for 10 years. Probably the first time I came on the show, the question remains the same. What is the national dish of the Bahamas? If we write it on a piece of paper and ask 10 Bahamians, we most likely gonna have 9 different answers. If you ask what's the national dish of Jamaica and you ask 10 Bahamians, you most likely gonna have than right answers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
right.
There's a little problem with that.
Yes.
So we're
Why is
working
it
to change
important?
that.
Why is it important to have a national dish? Why
Because
does
it gives
matter?
us focus. It gives us something to talk about. It gives us a starting point. It gives us reassurance that we are doing something and we all are in the same one accord. But if we can't talking about all this Bahamian stuff, we don't even have a starting point. That is your starting point.
And there's a lot of countries. What I thought was cool when I went away and met people from around the Caribbean was like they have stuff that we have, but it's completely different.
Yeah.
So like if you talk about South in Trinidad, they'll give you something that you like. What is this?
It's cold.
It's cold, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, what is? And so I think it's cool like to have a show where you like present South, and then everybody's like, what is that?
The Bahamas is super unique. We have so many different influences that a lot of people don't have. One of the things that I keep talking about when I get these opportunities is don't put the Bahamas in that little small line. They'll give Jamaica two episodes and only try to give us one little small line. Well, don't forget now, the Bahamas is the gateway to the new world. It started here.
Oh yeah.
So you can't minimize the importance of the Bahamas. And so we have to understand, but a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't understand that South in the rest of the Caribbean is a cold dish. People don't understand that. People don't understand the importance of the Luther pineapple. They don't. They don't understand the importance of Benny seeds. They don't understand these things, and so we have to talk about it. Not only talk about it, we have to. Everything you. If I didn't bring this award, the first thing you was gonna ask me was where the food. Don't come with your hands swinging because the chef could talk, but we won't taste it. So one of the things that I'm championing in doing events and stuff like that is to allow people to taste the food.
Let me ask you this question: you could find all kinds of Caribbean influenced restaurants around here. Any Bahamian restaurants throughout the Caribbean that you know of?
There's a couple in Florida, but outside of what we do know, no, not that I know of personally, they may exist. I never have the absolute.
I think you're right, though.
But that is not it. But let's not stop there. I went to a Bahamian craft show the other day, and at the Bahamian craft show, they was playing everything else but Bahamian music. Of course. We don't have to just talk about food. That's the thing. That's our culture, and that's one of the things that we have to look at. And nothing is make me more upset than when I go to any event that is supposed to be Bahamian centric and they playing non-Bahamian music. Now, I have no problem with Bahamian singing whatever, but at the same time, what I'm saying is put the Bahamian attach all of it when you're talking about culture.
Don't get me started. There's
We have a
private-
culture of loving other people's
Right.
culture.
There's a
of
private
course.
island with
One
one of
of-
our cruise ships
yeah.
here. Where
What-
they have anything but Bahamian beer. It's
Well,
Red
there you
Stripe,
go.
Oh, yeah.
Red Stripe, and Bud Light. What's that got to do with the Bahamas, right? But anyway, all right. So, what would be the national dish in your mind?
The national dish of the Bahamas on record is boiled fish.
That's
boiled fish.
That's what you say.
Yeah, that's what the record
That's
says.
the record.
Any kind of burl?
Burl, yeah, burl.
Or it's got to be grupo.
No, boiled fish.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what my research has come up with, and when I get all the information.
Yeah?
on it. But again, it shouldn't take me writing a book, and it shouldn't take us debating to know what the national dish is. If we have to debate about the national dish, it ain't that national.
Right.
That's true.
I mean, can it be when there's a season, a closed season? Well, you say it's not just grouper, but when plenty people can't afford it. But anyway.
But that's different. But then also too, you have to realize that in some parts of the Bahamas, they put coconut milk in boiled fish. See there? Look at your eyes.
I
You
can't
didn't even know.
recall. Like it fell in there by accident or something, or
See
how did that happen? Let's take some calls for Chef Simeon Hall Jr., Emmy winner on Morning Blend. Good morning. You're on the air. Hi, caller. Are you there? Hi. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, Freddie. Good morning. Turn on your radio for us, please.
Good morning, and good morning to your co-host, Chester,
Good morning.
and to Chef Hall.
Good morning, sir.
Firstly, let me congratulate you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
Your grandmother, I believe, was a forerunner. The crab lady, that is your grandmother, correct?
He said
That's your grandmother?
The crab lady.
The crab lady.
Yep.
Yes, I trust that you are carrying on that legacy because I'm sure the entire Bahamas knew that she made the best baked crab in the country at that time.
For sure.
And we all knew about Nola's baked crab. Congratulate you, sir, on your great achievement. I have heard you on numerous occasions advocating for the introductions of Bahamian foods and throughout our resorts and throughout the country. And I encourage you to continue. But Dwight, it speaks to the lack of attention that culture and heritage is given in our tourism product. We are boasting about 9-10 million tourists coming to the country. The question is, how many of them are afforded the opportunity to experience Bahamian culture, including food? Even while they are here on the island, very rarely if they go to the traditional outlets, they can hardly find what is traditionally Bahamian food expression. So I encourage you to continue, my brother. I think we need to fuse the music, the dance, the cultural expressions with the food and present them on a regular basis and make it available. You go into even some quote-unquote local Bahamian restaurants and you can't find authentic Bahamian food. I would guarantee you, if you go into all of our major resorts, you will be hard-pressed to find quote-unquote Bahamian foods on their menus on a regular basis, unless it's a buffet or something of the sort. So, Brother Hall, continue your great success, continue your advocacy to promote Bahamian culture around the world, and we support you, and hopefully we will be able to work together as we attempt to make our cultural expressions a part of the tourism product and develop our tourism industry to be something authentic. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Freddie Williams Jr. Appreciate it. One more call. Then we've got some more questions for you, Chef Simeon. Good morning. Call you on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and just calling you guys back. Hey, I want to congratulate the world famous chef, right? Because I grew up eating his grandmother fish cake. But I don't know if any one of you guys ever taste Nola Bay crab fish cake, right? It was off the chain, and right up to this date, I can't find a taste. Just thinking with that taste, wow. It's watering. So, Mr. Chef, please, if you could find a way to put Nola Bay crab fish cake back on the market, my brother, it because all we eating is foreign food in the Bahamas. Everywhere is foreign food. So please continue to do what. Congratulations over and repeatedly, and thanks for representing the Bahamas and keeping us on top when it comes to those things. But please bring the fish cake back, man. I'll travel any place to get that.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot.
so much.
Okay, you have the recipe?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
100%.
okay.
With a lot of my grandmother's recipes, that my father's mom, is that to reproduce them today, the prices would be so high that, my dad's mom, who was Nola, was known for the baked crab. And that recipe that was between $4 and $6 back then, I would have to charge maybe $32 based on what she did.
Yeah.
The amount of crab and stuff that she did, the labor for picking crabs, etc., is a part of that. And my other grandmother, my mom's mom, she was also a chef as well. So I come from both sides.
Yeah.
And she is known historically for Thursdays for her bread. And so I have that recipe as well that I've kind of tweaked, and I've used some of that to introduce. So I use both my grandmothers and my mom, who's pretty decent behind the stove herself. My mom is absolutely great with one pot cooking. Okay. My mother go in the kitchen at 9 o'clock and she finished cooking the whole meal by 9:02.
Wow. Who's the bread grandmother?
Huh?
Who's the bread
My
grandmother?
mom's mom.
Like famous?
Yeah, she did it in her neighborhood.
Oh, okay.
She did it in her neighborhood, and my grandmother was. I watched both of them growing up, so that's where I get it from. So I come from a family of food, and I tell people all the time, my dad feeds the soul, and I feed the.
Yeah.
So we out here trying to feed people.
Yeah,
that's what we doing.
So let's talk about that. The price, we know this has been a big issue last week, especially with the VAT announcement. This is a big problem here. Is that why we're having an issue as well? How much of a factor is that in why
for sure.
we cannot have access to
I
food?
have an event coming up on the weekend, and the price of the event, while people may think it's a lot, it's actually a loss. And one of the things that I want Bahamians to understand, for this part of the world, to be honest, you go to eat out in restaurants in the U.S., for example, you're paying more than what we're paying here. I can tell you that.
Really?
And so the price of food is astronomically high globally. But on this side of the world, it's even higher. And one of the things that I liked what the Prime Minister said in his speech was, let's start looking at a way to cut out the middleman.
Right.
Stop buying it from the States who buy it from across the road. Go to across the road.
Yeah.
Because we need the relief. And that's why I can tell you, I've been in food all my life. And I can tell you ingredients are astronomical. However, one of the tips to getting over that is support your local farmer and fisherman. You develop a relationship with them and you will never pay the same price. Never. Never.
Yeah.
I know some farmers right now, when I go there for one bag, I leave him with 4. Because I have that relationship with them. And they're going to make sure that you're taken care of.
Yeah.
It's the same way with your fishermen now. Fish prices have gone up because gas prices have gone up. Until they don't have a choice. But if you have a relationship with your fisherman, my 2 pounds and your 2 pounds ain't the same 2 pounds. I can tell you that because I there every week.
All right, this is a very interesting text here. Restaurant owners need to stop hiring these foreigners to cook Bahamian food. Oh boy. One time I was in Abaco and I ordered sheep tongue sauce, and it came out red. They'd put tomato paste in the sheep tongue.
I don't
that's
know.
a common cry with the fish fry. You're hearing that a lot now. What do you
I
say?
I don't know how much I agree with that. That's a matter of training. You can train anybody to create the recipe that you want.
Right.
It doesn't matter who that person is. Now, if you give them carte blanche to do what they want to do with your recipe, that's what's going to happen.
Right.
The Bahamas is at a boiling over point when it comes to jobs in food and beverage and persons working in food and beverage. Well, I get a call every single day for staff. Every day. Not a day goes past. And I'm talking from head chefs to dishwashers. We don't have enough. We don't have enough people. And so to say that, I don't know about that. What I think is the problem is when you're not putting in the recipes the way that they supposed to be. But here's a part of that problem. You ain't got no recipe. You ain't got no recipe yourself. Because I've been in your restaurant last week. It was different last week, and ain't nobody different was in that kitchen. That was you and your sister cooking. Your sister, why? Because y'all ain't got no recipe. And the hardest things to put on recipe is ethnic food. Because of traditions. There's a difference between authentic and traditional. Houses have tradition. Our house have a tradition of putting paprika on top of the macaroni.
Right.
Your house have a tradition of putting mustard in the macaroni. Your house have a tradition of using 4 cheese in the macaroni. So when me as a chef have a restaurant and I don't give you a recipe and I tell you make the macaroni, you know what macaroni making? The house macaroni.
Yep.
And so every week that different. So when you go to the restaurant, you can say, boy, I know Miss roll off today because this rice ain't right.
Yeah. Or you can
Yeah,
say,
that's
or you
very
can,
obvious.
Yeah.
Yes, you can tell.
Yeah.
or you,
Because
or
he
you
ain't
can
got
say
a
the
recipe.
chef
That's
changed it.
crazy.
Yeah, the chef
Yes.
changed. It's just a different person. Because we don't have recipes, and that's one of the things that I advocate for.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I mean, that's self-sabotage in terms of restaurants, isn't it?
100%.
I've eaten in restaurants and my wife and I'd be like, oh, this ain't the same person.
Right.
Like somebody ain't
So
working in this
common.
kitchen that we.
But again, people talk about restaurants, but let's talk about your house. If you cook Johnny Cake
Today,
Saturday,
yeah.
and your wife cooking Monday, it's different.
Yeah, yeah.
So what are you talking about restaurant? Give the restaurant a break. Let's talk about your house. It's different right home.
Right.
You want to put pork in the rice, but your wife say, no, I don't put pork in the rice, so the rice ain't got nothing in it.
Right.
It don't eat beef. It get dry conch. It got pork, salt beef, all these different things in it. When my wife cook it, it's a whole different
But see, the same problem in the house is the same problem with the restaurant, because the children, when mommy cook the rice, can go to the table, and when I cook it, they ain't coming.
That's right.
See that? so all of that is a part of, and it's very, very difficult when it comes to traditional foods to have people create recipes and stick to them.
Yeah.
So you can have that happen.
Yeah.
All right, really quickly, this person says here, I'm on a campaign to outlaw fish fingers made from freshwater fish. Does Chef Simeon support this?
You know what I support? I support menu honesty.
Yeah.
So if you say it's grouper, it gotta be grouper.
Yeah.
Don't say it's grouper, charge grouper prices, and then serve sweet. Now that should be illegal.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Jail for that.
And then if grouper season close, how you have fresh Nassau grouper? That ain't fresh. So take the fresh off of the wood.
Yep. All right, so what is next? You're a big Emmy winner now. You're walking around town with the Emmy. What's next with Simeon Hall Jr.?
You know, I have this amazing event coming up on Saturday. It's called Peace Peace. First of all, I personally think the name is amazing.
Yes.
Because Peace means small bites. So it's a shared plates event there at Bristol. And so I'm super excited about that. Partnering with everybody at Bristol.
What's the date again?
Saturday coming at
Okay.
8 p.m. Tickets are on sale. You can check out my social media, which is Simeon Hall Jr. Everything, SimeonHallJr.com, Instagram, Facebook, everything. You can find it there. And that is one of the things that I'm super excited about, is to continue doing events, working with the Ministry of Tourism. We've been invited to 3 major events for the year already. We'll be going out and doing that. I have an event coming up in Elbow Key at Elbow Reef Hotel, which was voted one of the best in the region. So I have a lot going on, and I'm super determined this year to finally get started on the process, which takes about a year to write my cookbook. And that's called 700.
You've got to do it.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the big question I want to know is where are you keeping the Emmy? Where?
Well, I can't say that now on the radio, but it's going to be safely kept.
Yeah.
I pull it out just for special occasions and put it away and lock it up. And I'll just tell you this. My mom is in charge of the security of the Emmy. So ain't nobody.
Excellent.
Ain't nothing.
You definitely can't tell Dwight where you put it.
Congratulations. This is wonderful. I'm so
Thank you so
glad.
much.
I'm so proud of you. This
Thank
is
you so much.
fantastic. And we're looking for this book.
All
Looking
right,
for this
awesome.
book. So you
Yep,
got to come
yep,
back
yep,
and
yep.
tell us all about that.
Yep,
and
for
again,
sure.
Peace,
Saturday,
Saturday,
Bristol,
at Bristol.
8 p.m. Tickets go on sale. Tickets are on sale.
Yeah.
But
This is a premier crew.
Yeah, at Versailles, right there in the courtyard, and you can get tickets. It's on Eventbrite. You can check out my social media at Simeon Hall Jr. And we have tickets of day tomorrow, which is Thursday, which allows us to make sure that we have everybody covered, etc.
Excellent stuff.
Good.
Great
Yeah.
stuff. Chef
Yeah.
Simeon Hall Jr., Emmy winner.
Thank you so much.
All right, we're going to talk with you soon. We're going to take a break for news and be back with Bristol. There you are here. We're going to talk about dry January. We'll see how this goes. Coming up, this is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
Anywhere I go, eating plenty guap fat and mashing up some dough. Gal, we heading east bay. We taking Rick and Spring.
All those loans I had were so overwhelming. Fidelity's debt consolidation loan combined all my loan payments into one easy payment with a built-in savings plan that pays me unbeatable interest. It's time to make that move to Fidelity. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom CAP solutions, computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with custom computers. Call the Know-How team at 396-1101.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. Is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business on this Wednesday, January 15th, 2025. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Chester Robards, and it's our favorite time of the month, our monthly series with Bristol Wines and Spirits. In January, Happy New Year to Kyle Stubbs, Tori Saunders, and Zena Williams. Welcome back.
Yes,
Great to
Happy
see
New
you.
Year.
Haven't seen you
Happy
since
New Year.
last year, except for Kyle, who was here a few weeks ago for something else. That's fine. Good to see all of you.
Good morning. Happy New Year.
Some of you apparently are claiming you didn't know that's what's going on, but it's dry January, and that's been going on for a little while. But how does that fit in with Bristol?
A couple of
Do you all
things.
even recognize that? Is that
No, we recognize that it exists. Not that we officially recognize it to say that we celebrate dry
We don't
January.
subscribe to the
Yeah. But what we do in our beverage offering is to make sure that we can accommodate those who, if it's just for January or if it's for Lent or it's a lifestyle change, we can accommodate the non-alcoholic category in the beverage industry.
And that's growing. That's
That is
growing
very
around
much
the
so.
world, yeah.
So when we look at what all is in that, we're talking about waters, and waters is a serious thing, especially when we get into the other side of the beverage, which is distillation and all of that kind of stuff. And so we're seeing waters go all kind of directions with flavors and infusions and that kind of stuff. We're talking about juices and soft drinks. And we're also talking about the non-alcoholic approaches to classic and signature cocktails.
Mocktails.
Mocktails. Yeah, we grew up with them saying mocktails. But it's a lot more serious these days in terms of the flavor profile that we're trying to build.
Yeah.
And the experience that we're trying to deliver, the luck that comes in the glass, and then those people who are not drinking alcohol beverages want to be a part of the scene of those who are. So
Been
today
seeing
you got
news stories about bars, in quotation marks, that are serving only non-alcoholic cocktails and stuff like that.
Yeah,
It's like, that's wild.
Because the bar life isn't just a beverage consumption life; it's a social atmosphere, and so you don't want to be able to take away people's social element because they do or do not drink alcohol.
Right.
And so we're seeing some serious growth in the non-alcoholic beverage. For us, it's more on the juices and waters and that kind of stuff. But inside the bars, 10 years ago, you would not see a mocktail on a menu. You'd have to ask for it.
Yeah.
Now, you see your cocktail list with 12 cocktails, 2 of them are mocktails,
Yeah.
15 are mocktails. And it's just that everybody comes in and everybody wants to have a gastronomic experience. And so we don't want to share anybody out by not being able to accommodate them.
Yeah.
And it's possible.
It is.
Outside of just getting a soda or juice, I want a
Yeah.
mojito.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
I just love the names that's coming.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever get to the point where we have a bar that specializes in that only? Do you think that there?
Beverage-wise, we're always 5, 7, maybe 10 years behind what's happening industry-wise in the trend. Somebody at some point will be creative enough to do that. I mean, if we look at the local botanicals we have, I think we could do some very interesting and unique non-alcoholic cocktails. You know, right place, right product with the right food mix. I don't see that not being a possibility.
Yeah. All right, so you
dry January don't have nothing to do with wine.
Yes, we have some non-alcoholic wine.
Non-alcoholic wine too,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But also dry wine. So that count?
No, so dry is absolutely no alcohol. But of course, in wine we say sparkling wine, dry wine, and sweet wine. But not really for the wine per se. But we do have non-alcoholic wine in our portfolio from Sutter Home called Free.
Really?
2 SKUs and yeah, interesting. Again, it's a couple of things. It's the folks who are health conscious,
right?
January. Those who over obliged in December. Those who are looking for lifestyle changes, and so difference in taste profile. There's 5 of us sitting inside there, and each one of us have a distinctly different taste profile. So while somebody might enjoy a non-alcoholic wine, it could be of 2 things. They are looking for a non-alcoholic beverage, or that profile fits their profile, with or without the alcohol content. And so that's how we would look at non-alcoholic wine. But we're seeing a lot of it. We're seeing a lot of requests for it. You know, for me personally, right, this is Kyle Steps, not Bristol's. I'm all about moderation. And so if we're moderate throughout the entire year, then we really there's no spike in our consumption. So we could still be health conscious. We could still be, you know, socially responsible. But I feel sometimes when people have to cut and dry, drop cold drinking in January, it's like you did too much in December. Kind of thing.
And then risk doing too much in February again.
Right. And then, you know, it's love. And then we also, for those who practice Lent, want to, you know, get all of our bad stuff behind us before that 6 to 7 week period of cleansing, right? So I'm about moderation. I do not subscribe to it, but I do understand that there is a growing grouping of people who put it aside for various reasons in January. But we're in the beverage industry, so we still have to be able to accommodate those folks.
Yeah. So I've had it before, so I'm only joking here. But non-alcoholic wine is what grape juice, cider, or something. How would you describe it?
Well, when you add the word cider in it, that means you're talking about keeping the carbon dioxide inside it. So that would be a sparkling version of it. But you just think about it, apple cider is a non-alcoholic wine just made from apples, right? An apple, the formula, is us just using yeast to break down the sugar that's naturally present in any fruit. For the wines that we drink, table wines, we call them, it's a particular species of grape. But, and I mentioned it, I think a year or 2 ago, you know, our friends in Barbados have a nice fruit wine industry. Our friends up north in Canada and Quebec specifically has a nice fruit wine industry. And so it is, you know, grape juice because the fermentation introduces the alcohol content. There's numerous ways that we can introduce the carbon dioxide to give us bubbles that we experience in the apple ciders, but it's more along the lines of juice.
So if you want carbonation, run it through your soda stream.
But it's still
there you go.
That's still
has all of the wine
Cabernet-esque.
components. Yeah. So it has the characteristics of the grape varieties that you're looking for because it's coming from those grapes. It still has all of the elements outside of the alcohol. So there's some fruit character, some sugar, some acid. There's still the phenolic compounds. You can still smell some aromas. You can taste different flavors. It just doesn't have the alcohol.
Yeah, I've had some of this before. It's not horrible.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I like drinking that much to not drink it. You know? Like drink
I
something
understand that.
without the alcohol? No. I don't think I like drinking that much.
Do y'all have non-alcoholic beer as well there?
We don't, but there's non-alcoholic
But
beers.
there's
Right, yeah.
I wouldn't drink a beer without alcohol in it.
The thing about non-alcoholic beers, it still tastes bearish.
It is. Like the Odos.
Yeah.
No. No.
But I think for those who intentionally are intentional with their consumption, alcohol plays a component as to why we consume those particular beverages. You know,
Right.
Whether it's a feel-good moment, whether it's a hype me up because I can rush and Chunkunu, whatever the case is, we look for alcohol to do something in consuming. But outside of that, it's those who, health-wise, I always talk when you reach 40, the doctors start to tell you all kind of things they never told you at 30. One of those could be, hey, the alcohol consumption or too much sugar or too much this. And so I still won't be in the social setting, still won't play dominoes with the guys on a Friday evening in the back of the yard. But the doctor say, you know, I don't want to give up the dominoes on a Friday night, but I love to give up the alcohol consumption, which means I now travel with the non-alcoholic beer and the non-alcoholic wine based on health concerns for me personally. Now, you know, some people go to the doctor and the doctor gives them some strict regimen and they refuse to. That's a different story for a different day.
Yeah. Wow. So keep all that in mind. All right. So you've brought some stuff for us to talk about. These are non-alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, I'm just going to slide the mic over to Zena so she can guide us through, just because she can tell you which one of these she really, really, really likes. What she doesn't.
Zena,
But what we
you
have
couldn't possibly thought you were going to talk today.
So what we
I
have
always
is-
love to hear from Zena.
We have some flavored sparkling juice, they call it, from San Pellegrino, which is a well-known sparkling wine and still wine waterhouse, not wine. But these lead the conversations for us in our non-alcoholic offerings outside of the Fiji water and the aquapan and that kind of stuff. Here's where we start to play with some flavors and get into particular taste profiles.
And we can see from the can it's Italian.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Which one
Hello,
do we start
Zena.
with? Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. All right. So we have here San Pellegrino, which, as Kyle said, is from our non-alcoholic department at Bristol. The brand manager is Trevor. We're starting with the San Pellegrino Limonada, which is a lemon-flavored sparkling beverage. Obviously, if
This
you're
is
in a
the one
dry
that's your
January,
favorite?
no.
No, not this.
If you're in a dry January, you could
Kyle's
drink it
favorite.
alone. It's a little lemonade-esque with bubbles. But if you're not dry January,
Tangy.
you can also use it in place of your cocktails or your sweet and sour.
I could see where that tastes really good.
Oh, yeah, that would be really good with some gin.
You see it.
Some
Exactly.
Grey whale gin. This
Yeah.
would go nice with some grey whale
Fantastic.
gin.
In
And
dry
a San
January, you
Pel
only
Limonada.
talk about
Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of times too, when we do some of our combo packs, we will put the limonada with it because it's a great cocktail enhancer. You have the flavor, you have the bubbly. So, you know, instead of adding Prosecco, you could just put a little bit of that in your cocktail.
Should
Nice.
we get into calories and sugar and stuff like
Let's
that?
not do
Do you
that.
want to do that? Okay.
Let's not do that.
It's not water.
It's not
juice.
water. It's a sparkling beverage.
Okay. All right. No problem. But that's cool though. That's nice.
Yeah, I was just going to comment. I heard Dr. Cooper on last week. But maybe he and I need to do a session on sugar content in some beverages and so on. But I like how Zena kind of dove away from that because I just looked at it, and this is solely for the purpose of us not wanting to consume alcohol. If we're watching our calorie and our sugar intake, then we'll have a different conversation about a different beverage.
Okay.
Well, you know what?
I mean, if you're watching your sugar content, you could drink a San Pel regular.
Yeah.
Still get the sparkly, but you don't get the sugar.
But some alcohol has less calories than this, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that tells you something.
So next, we're moving on to orange.
Ooh. Oh.
So again, if you're going for a mimosa, maybe you replace your orange juice with your San Pel.
Okay.
Big
All
time.
right. That sounds pretty good.
Ooh, bubbles on bubbles.
Exactly.
And this is which one?
This one is orange. So, like I said, you could use it in a mimosa, or you could use it if you want to just drink a
the way
little.
they pronounce it.
Pretty light.
I'm not
No, you can't. Italian. Come on.
Aranciata.
that sounds. That
She put a
sounds
little
right.
roll on the-
That
on the
sounds
tongue
right.
too.
So, yeah, you could drink it solo. You could drink it in a mimosa, or you can replace your orange
almost
juice element.
Tastes like a mimosa, right?
Exactly.
Almost.
It does.
So if you're trying to be,
Fool yourself into thinking that.
if you're doing the dry January,
Yeah.
There
Exactly.
you go.
Mimosa mocktail.
That is
That's
perfect.
actually pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's decent.
Yeah.
That is perfect for
Huh?
replacement.
No mosa.
a mimosa.
Well, no, I mean you want samosa.
No mosa.
No mosa.
mosa.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty decent.
Yeah.
That is
That one
And now
could-
we're ending it with my personal
favorite.
favorite.
okay.
It's the blood orange. Honestly, sometimes I drink like one of these a day.
Wow. Okay.
It's really good. I don't know. It's good. I enjoy it.
And then you finally read the
But-
nutritional.
No, I had to block that away from my eyesight. I'm sorry.
But it's no. What would you pair this with though?
Whew. I mean, you still could do it with a mimosa, because like we're getting into the flavored mimosas outside of
that's the one.
orange
Kyle,
these days.
Yeah.
That's the
This is
one.
now
Yeah.
now your favorite. Yeah.
It's good.
Okay.
I prefer the limonada.
No one has never said that.
Profile.
You
I'm
don't-
a
you
sour.
don't-
Yeah.
Okay.
Not my personality. But, you know.
So like the limonada, you could even do that in your whiskey sour.
Oh yes,
'Cause
yes.
I'm a
absolutely.
whiskey sour
Absolutely,
girly.
that would be very good. Yeah. So I think the other two are a little more flexible than this one.
Yes.
Yes.
I would
this
say
is a standalone.
if you, this is a standalone beverage if you are a dry January person.
Okay.
But if you still enjoy a cocktail, the lemonada or the orange,
Yes.
perfect for adding that,
Yeah,
to a cocktail
absolutely.
without going the prosecco route.
Right.
And
right.
you could probably expand that can across maybe 3 drinks.
Lemonada, definitely.
The size.
Even yeah.
Yeah.
You only mix 2 ounces.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting stuff. And these are available at all
Bristol locations because this is a part of our non-alcoholic portfolio.
Okay, wonderful stuff. We've got some
Yeah,
interesting
very good.
text messages here.
Okay.
And you can text us as well, 422-4796. Hey, call in, 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Discussing dry January with our friends from Bristol Wines and Spirits. Yes, it sounds.
Right.
Listen to this. It's a mindset thing. I used to drink from 13 to age 34. Wow. I'm 1 year clean now and don't miss drinking at all.
Congratulations.
I go out and order a
Congratulations.
fruit punch or lemonade and feel no way about it and enjoy myself.
What happened?
I didn't stop for health reasons, but more for a new life, and it's great. Alcohol is a drug, and I wish anyone who the best that dares to drop the cup. Okay, well, we ain't dropping that. So, but you'll gain more than you lose. The will is yours. But I mean, if you, it's as Kyle says, in moderation,
Most
right? You don't want to
definitely.
drink to the point where you're drunk or passed out.
Absolutely. Or can't get yourself home, or like you know when you've consumed too much, or you're beginning to consume too much. So some of us are. Personally,
we
we're
not.
okay with that. That's what people want. We're not okay with that. But it's just about moderation, understanding what it is, where your body.
Yeah.
Your body speaks to you when you consume alcohol. That's congratulations on 1 year being. I don't want to use the word clean because that makes it seem like us more of alcohol in our system. We're dirty.
Sober. We say
Sober.
sober.
Yeah, 1 year sober, which is good. But for me, again, it's when we allow alcohol or any other addiction, substance or anything to change our behavior pattern, then we're over consuming.
Absolutely.
You see me here this morning sober, you will catch me like this evening after a glass of wine, a Torres wine tasting. It's moderation.
Yeah.
My friends, they're big on Cavassier. They can never get me to have a second cup of Cavassier. It's moderation.
Right.
And
I suspect the fact that they were drinking from 13.
right.
I
So
feel like that- Yeah.
let's talk about the medical impact that could have on us if we're drinking from 13. Our body isn't. A lot of things convoluted inside that text, but most importantly is sober 1 year. Congratulations.
All the best.
Is Tori's wine tasting the name of it?
Sorry, no. Sorry, actually has a vendor in from Deutsch Family Banks and Spirit. So you see he's dropping some brands on air this morning, like Grey Whale Gin. But our supplier for Josh and Josh Reserve, Grey Whale Gin, Yellowtail,
They back.
Cantera Negra Tequila. Yeah. So last year we had two of them. This is the actual rep for the Caribbean. So we had Dana, who is the vice president of Deutsch, and we had Juan, who is the area manager for the Caribbean and Latin America. This gentleman who is in Gonzalo is the area manager for the Caribbean only. So this is his introduction into our market. We have a nice little presentation this afternoon. He gets the full lay of the land, population, and all that kind of good stuff, tourism numbers last season. And then we talk about the particular numbers on those brands, introduction of some new brands, and then we execute this evening just an informal tasting so we can give a thank you to our private trade customers who come to all of our tastings. And then tomorrow we do an elevated tasting in the morning for the trade, a master class receipt before he heads back out tomorrow afternoon.
Wow. Yeah. This texture sounds like Tori. I'm saying, give me the real thing. The fake stuff gives me a stomach ache. Give me real wine, Jesus' first miracle. Yippee.
Say yippee.
That sounds like a friend. I'm certain I know that person. I'm with that person,
Cheers
right?
to that person.
It's not even just the first miracle, but there's the fact that it was good wine that was made, and it was so good that the folks asked at the wedding, why did we serve the good wine last? So I'm with them. If you're gonna drink good. Don't overdrink, but drink good. Why drink $3 vodka when you could have a good vodka at $25, right? Why drink $5 wines when you know they added sugar and did a lot of stuff, and you could add $10 more and have a very good wine at $15. So if you're gonna drink it.
Why
Be
drink-
responsible about what you're gonna put in your system.
Why drink tastes bad sparkling juice when you got this San
Right?
Pellegrino stuff?
Yeah, absolutely. When you get choices in San Pellegrino.
Yeah. All right. So you got a whole lot of events coming up, as always. We heard just now from Chef Simeon Hall about Peace.
Yeah, so I'll just quickly on Peace, and then I'll let Zena run down on some other activations we have coming. But I think it's an awesome opportunity. Who doesn't know Chef Simeon Hall has been hiding underneath a rock for the last 10 years. And we came in just now and the Emmy stood out from through the window.
Right.
But who can tell a story through food better than Chef can? And so he is linked up with our good friend who is working with Bahamas Botanicals and Tori in the wine division on some exciting cocktails and wines to pair nicely with the small bites that he's going to be pushing out on Saturday evening. Starting at 8 o'clock, the price is $125. I was busy in traffic getting my little one to school, so I didn't hear much of the conversation with Chef this morning, but I can tell you there's more than 8, 9 different bites. Wow. I've seen the menu with at least 6 cocktails featuring the dilly rum and the pineapple brandy from Bahamas Botanicals. And then I see some interesting things. We're excited because I see a lot of Bahamian flavors on the menu. So this is our time to say, hey, no, here's wine that goes with Bahamian flavors. Whether it's the chicken sauce that's broken down with a broth and a nice buttery Chardonnay on the side of it, or it's the Count Crudité with some Josh Prosecco. It's the flavors that we know in a style that we may not be accustomed to, but on the side of some beverages that's just going to give us a gastronomic experience that you cannot get anywhere else besides this coming Saturday at Crew at Bristol starting at 8 p.m.
Excellent. He's saying that you have to sign up soon. You close.
It's locked. When you do an all-inclusive, you want to know your number. For him, food preparation-wise. For Kenneth, cocktail preparation-wise. And for us, for Tori to say, okay, I need 5 cases of wine to go across there to accommodate what would be expected to happen on Saturday.
So the latest you can sign up is
I want to say tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. Okay.
Hopefully somebody's been listening to this. The last 2 minutes of the show, I think Tori wants to give out 2 tickets for Saturday.
Definitely.
Yep. You want to do it now before we? Yeah.
Y'all such lovely
You
people.
ready? Just so we make sure we get them before we go. Yeah. You ready? Well, you think about it while Zena gets so gives
Very
more
nice.
information.
All right. So while Tori thinks of a question, I have a couple more events coming up at Bristol. So in addition to Peace Peace, which is this Saturday, on Tuesday, the 21st, we will be partnering with Paranza at Atlantis for a wine featuring Antonori wines. That dinner, you can get your tickets on Atlantis's website. I think it's tasteofatlantis.com. It is $250 plus, so it comes up to $312. But it's 6 courses, and they are all paired with wine.
Oh, wow.
So
And
it's
who's going to be at Atlantis?
It's at Paranza at Atlantis. So it's a great deal if you are an Antonori lover. You get to try 6s. So I definitely recommend you come out to that. After that, on Friday, we are partnering with Essence for their 7th anniversary show, which is going to be at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium. We're going to have Grey Goose. We're going to have Matua. We're going to have Gabbiano. So you have lots of opportunities for wines or spirits, and we have bottle prices. If you check our Facebook or Instagram page, you can see the flyer for that as well as some of the bottle prices. And you can get your tickets for that at ticketflare.com/Essence 7th anniversary.
Again,
We have the link
the 24th,
also. That's on the
Friday,
24th, Friday. We left the link as well on our Facebook page, so you can just visit us on Facebook to purchase your tickets for that. The VIP tables are already sold out.
What?
Wow.
So there's only general tickets left, but it's still going to be a great time. Everybody knows Essence always puts on a great show. So we definitely recommend you come to that as well.
Okay, wonderful.
And of course, we have Fiesta Latina, which is Bristol's premier tequila event that's always put on by Patron. The first one for the year is coming up January 31st. It's a cash only. Bring your cash, but we'll have food vendors, Patron cocktails, music, cigars, the kids zone. Kids always get in for free, and adults are $5.
I see the cars lined off on Gladstone Road whenever we
Yep.
do this. So this is very
So yeah,
popular.
get ready for that. That is going to be January 31st.
Okay.
So Tori, you have your question yet? Or I can talk about one more thing. Okay.
Yeah? You have one more thing? Okay.
So a last thing is, if you are listening from Abaco, we have actually teamed up with Dockside to do a submission cooler giveaway. So if you purchase 2 bottles or more of any type of submission wine, you'll be entered into that giveaway. So, sorry, can't wait to go to Abaco to give you your cooler.
What's in this cooler? Like a bunch of submissions?
No, but it's a really good cooler. Like we gave away one in Nassau at the Bristol store, Gladstone last year. No, it's a really good cooler. So if you're in Abaco, definitely visit Dockside to participate in that giveaway.
All you should do is buy 2.
Just 2.
Okay.
Just
That's
2 and
pretty
you'll
good.
be
Yeah,
entered.
you know you got some good submission drinkers in Abaco. I sure. I sure that.
Excellent stuff.
All right, so Tori.
Okay, to our listeners, we have 2 tickets to give away. You have to answer 3 questions.
3.
The name of the event.
I'll go with it.
What time does it start?
Oh, okay.
And which local spirit is in the cocktails that we feature in the night?
That's pretty much right. One question.
Yeah.
Okay, if they were listening, they could get
Yes. They could get
right.
that, right?
Say the questions one more time, then we'll give the numbers.
Name of the event, time it start, and the local spirit, and the phone is ringing already.
Do I even need to give out the number? 325-4316.
No.
325-4259. Now, caller, I know a lot of you like to answer these questions, but you don't go. We want you to go to the event, right? So if you're not going to go, you just want to show how much knowledge you have. Let somebody else win, but hopefully you're going, right? Caller, you have the answers?
Yes,
Okay, let's hear this.
the event is Peace Peace and starts at 8. And Dilly would be the, I guess, the native fruit. I think it's last
get that?
Deliberating
Did you get
deliberating
that?
on this.
Can you go a little further with the local
spirit?
Oh, the local spirit. Okay,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what it was.
perhaps. Can you tell me who produces it?
No.
Okay, and I appreciate the honesty. Are you preparing to come if you were to win these tickets?
Yeah, definitely.
You definitely.
You got someone in mind you was bringing?
We will make sure you set, you plan, and everything before we. Yes.
Because it's so close, they want to give it to you.
Yeah,
You go.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay. So you're gonna leave the name and number with the producer, but I'm coming looking for you on Saturday.
So don't go anywhere.
So don't go
Stay on the
anywhere.
line.
So
Stay
you're
on the
correct.
line.
It is
Yes.
Peace on Saturday, 8 p.m. and it's Bahamas Botanicals, and we're featuring a dilly rum and a pineapple brandy.
Okay. So, yeah, 90%.
Yeah, I got you.
Like
We got
the
you
people
covered.
out on sick out. 90% close, right? So
Even Jeopardy would have given you that one.
congratulations. Hope you have a great time on Saturday.
you.
Stay on the line for our
Yes.
producer, please. All right. Good stuff there. Something exciting going on. This is
Yeah, we try our best. I think the next time we come now, our conversations will be a little bit more serious as we get back into some wine education. Bring back up our WSET programming. We have some hotels and some restaurants that have already been knocking on the doors. And our tastings will resume in February.
Okay.
We're starting off. So, of course, we didn't want to push it this go around just because we have so much events between now and the next go around. But it's going to be a little Valentine themed, couples edition wine tasting, maybe some
Nice.
some questions. How well do you know your partner?
Ooh.
Wine wise, describe them in wine terms, that kind of fun.
Yeah.
And then we'll go from there afterwards.
So we don't see you before the Super Bowl. Do you all do anything special for the Super Bowl, or do you have anything special going on in the stores?
Well, Super Bowl is big beer business, and so we're out of the beer business, but we support our customers wherever request needs. So fully stocked bars will be available at all of these. Your favorite watering hole for Super Bowl, but for us in terms of big promotions or anything of that sort, we leave that to the beer guys.
Okay, all right, good stuff. So we can see you in a few weeks.
Most definitely.
If not before, at some of these wonderful events.
Yeah, hopefully we could get both you and Chester out to.
Wow.
1/3.
Oh, hey.
You're
That's
busy
a good number.
gentlemen. Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
that sounds
no high
reasonable.
demand. So anything
Sounds
above
reasonable.
that is gravy for us. We'll take it, but
Okay.
at least 1/3 of our events. We'll see
Sounds
how we
good.
can figure out some pricing into some stuff. And
I'm always lucky to run into you guys. It's
most
something.
definitely,
Something.
that's true.
Yeah, something.
Good stuff. Thank you all for being here. Zena Williams, Tori Saunders, and Kyle Stubbs. Happy New Year. And we look forward to many exciting weeks ahead with you all.
Absolutely.
And we're going to take a break and be back to wrap things up. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at
The Water and Sewage Corporation is rolling out new digital meters designed to give you more accurate readings. With advanced technology, you'll be able to monitor your water usage in real time, get more accurate bills and early leak detection to avoid costly surprises. Better service starts now. Watch for our installation team in your neighborhood and get ready to experience the convenience of digital meters. Follow us on our social media platforms for more information. Digital meters from the Water and Sewage Corporation. Innovative, convenient, and designed for you.
Double the holidays with Scotiabank, and you could win your share of $28,000 this Christmas. Just spend $300 or more on your Scotiabank credit card, and you could be the lucky first prize winner of $13,000, or the second prize winner of $8,000, or the third prize winner of $5,000. Win big and claim your share of $28,000 when you shop with Scotiabank this Christmas. Promotion ends January 27th, 2025. Draw date February 17th, 2025. Visit bs.scotiabank for more information. Conditions apply.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blend Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit CFAL.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian.
It is time for your morning business report brought to you by CFAL. President of the Bahamas Electrical Workers Union, Kyle Wilson, says his union stands in solidarity with the TUC and the industrial action, but its members are not participating, and the public should not expect any power disruption as a result. Wilson, speaking to the National Guardian yesterday, said he was made aware of the call for a national strike several weeks ago, as it has always been at the forefront of discussions with the TUC. Ferguson, O.B. Ferguson, the TUC president, said over the weekend that starting on Monday, well, as we did see, that for 2 days, 14 unions across the nation would take part in that action. While there are no trade barriers between the Bahamas and African and Latin American countries, the government is working to develop a mixture of trade initiatives to make the process of trading with those nations easier, more efficient, and more affordable. That's according to Chairman of the Bahamas Trade Commission, Senator Barry Griffin. The government has stated its intent to bring down the high cost of living in the country through several means, one of those being trade diversification. That means seeking new markets for goods that might typically come from the U.S. at a much higher price. Read more about that in today's Guardian Business section. In your Market Watch, recapping trading on the BISX from Tuesday, your market movers, Bank of the Bahamas, moving 1,000 shares, closing at $4.40, up 10 cents. Focall moving 3,560, closing at $6.40 unchanged. Consolidated Water up 8 cents, closing at $5.98.79. The BISX All Share Index closing at 3,091.87, up 0.20. That's your Market Watch, and that is your morning business report brought to you by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. And we're back here with our final minute of Morning Blend Business, and hey, it is a late Christmas gift, because if you thought that our friends would leave us with only non-alcoholic drinks today, never fear. They've come through with
to wet your January.
Something for us.
I mean, really, would we be the wine division without giving you at least one glass of wine?
Because
Come
it
on
just
now.
wouldn't make any sense.
Wet up your January.
So yeah, let's
So
flood the
our
desert.
final sample before we leave is a bottle of Casillero del Diablo's new Devil's Carnival. This is called Fabulous Red, and it's brought to you by Concha y Toro, which is one of the largest producers of value wines globally. So this is just, your bottle if you're just having a bottle with dinner, you're just chilling after a long day. Right,
February 1st.
February 1st, and you need something to open. This is that bottle. So it's a red blend. If you want to take a picture.
Okay.
The name of this one is actually Fabulous Red. It's a fabulous bottle of value wine.
Very interesting bouquet. It smells very rich. Smells, yeah. Kyle, watch that bottle there.
No, Zena's using this word value wine, and for us, in the industry, that's our $10 bottle. I think this is slightly north of that at about $13, but on the nose, easy on the palate. Tori and I were just commenting, it's a little tight when you open it. So this is one of those you open it and let it sit for a few minutes, or slide it in the fridge for about 5 minutes before you enjoy it. Bring the temperature down, give us a little bit more of the favorable characteristics, but nothing pretentious about it. An extra $10, $12 in the pocket, and we want to have a bottle of wine home. We want to try something different that we haven't Casio del Diablo. For me personally, I believe their Cabernet Sauvignon is our best cab.
Oh, wow.
At $10, it probably drinks like a $30 cab. And we're in South America, we're in Chile, so we're not really trying to get you the pint unless it's Don Montreal at $180 a bottle.
Okay.
But this is just a line extension of Casio del Diablo. They've been with us for a very long time inside Bristol's, and their wines do well. Whether it's Casio del Diablo, whether it's Marquis de Casa Concha, whether it's Frontera, all of these good value to premium wines, they perform extremely well, and this is just something new that we're introducing into the market.
Good Concha's been around forever.
And ever. And these are on displays, brand new product in all of our stores. You can walk in and grab yourself a bottle or two. There is a phenomenal Sauvignon Blanc that goes along with this as well. But you could not walk out here without one glass of wine.
It's really good.
Yeah, it is very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Oh, 1465.
1465. Okay. Good stuff. Thank you so much. It's brightened our day. Again, Zena Williams, Kyle Stubbs, and Tori Saunders. Thank you so much. And our wonderful friends at Bristol Wines and Spirits. We'll see you next month. And Chester Robards, thank you for being here today.
Always a pleasure.
I'll see you next week. And I'll be back tomorrow morning with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business right here on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan, have a great day, everybody. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green next.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.